Chapter 588. Phew, this feels good. Because of the nourishment from the heavenly spiritual pill, the pain in his wound lessened significantly. Hence, Lin Rei didn't pay attention to his surroundings and moaned out loud. Of course, the pain in his wound was only temporarily alleviated. It wasn't completely healed. His eyes were still the same as before. He couldn't see anything. In the blink of an eye, more than an hour had passed. Under Lin Rei's guidance, the effects of the heavenly spiritual pill were finally exhausted. However, Lin Rei calculated that according to the effects of the heavenly spiritual pill, he would have to take it every once in a while. Otherwise, the pain would appear again. Sigh. TSK, so troublesome. With that, Lin Rei casually removed the array around him. Then, he stood up and put away the worldly Huayu. He pushed the door open and walked out. Chirp chirp chirp, The moment he walked out of the room, the sound of birds chirping entered his ears. The sound was lively and crisp. It was very pleasant to the ears. Hearing it, Lin Rei, who was originally in a bad mood, calmed down instantly. Quietly, Lin Rei, who felt the darkness in front of him, laughed foolishly. He didn't stay any longer. Then, he released his divine sense and walked towards Xia Feng. Previously, he had already decided that after resolving the pain in his eyes, he would let Xia Feng bring him to the holy mountain to activate the rebirth state. As for Xia Feng's strength, he naturally knew about it. Hence, Lin Rei wasn't afraid of the three ghost kings at all. Because of the existence of his divine sense, he could still sense the outside world very clearly. Of course, in this way, he had to keep releasing his divine sense and couldn't withdraw it. He walked towards the center of Lake City. Along the way, the streets were dilapidated. It wasn't as prosperous as it was when he first came. Regarding all this, Lin Rei could only sigh and feel pity. Of course, he didn't sympathize. The strong preyed on the weak, and the survival of the fittest was the rule of this world. Regarding this, Lin Rei didn't reject it. Aoo. Just as Lin Li drew near the demonic phoenix, a phoenix cry rang out, its voice filled with a murderous aura as it raised its head to the heavens and howled. Lin Rei, who heard the cry of the phoenix, immediately stopped in his tracks. Then, he transmitted his voice, "It's me, Lin Rei." Xia Feng frowned when she heard Lin Rei's voice transmission. However, she didn't stop him. She immediately withdrew her killing intent. Sensing the disappearance of the killing intent, Lin Rei heaved a sigh of relief. He walked up to Xia Feng and said, "How is it? Let's go to the Saint Mountain now. I want to open the reincarnation mirror and find the whereabouts of my wife and child as soon as possible." "Leave now?" Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng's frown deepened as she hesitated. "What? You have something to do?" Lin Rei, who had released his divine sense, noticed Xia Feng's hesitation. Regarding this, Lin Rei couldn't help but ask. After all, for a Xia Feng who had just been unsealed, Lin Rei really couldn't figure out what she could do. "No. It's just that Feng Su has just received the inheritance. I want to wait for him to completely receive the inheritance before leaving with you. What do you think?" Of course, you can object, but Feng Su's inheritance can't be broken. "What?" Upon hearing Xia Feng's words, Lin Rei was stunned. However, he quickly regained his senses and said with a relaxed expression, "Don't worry. I will handle this matter. I will send your son to a particularly safe place to receive the inheritance. That place will only be beneficial to him and won't bring him any harm." The evil phoenix was stunned when he heard this. His eyes were filled with confusion. Before he could come back to his senses, Lin Li took a step forward. With a thought, Feng Su, who was in the process of receiving the inheritance, was instantly sucked into the system. He believed that if there was a place in the world that was the safest, Lin Li could swear to everyone that it was the system. And that wasn't all. He had already placed Feng Su within the primal chaos formation and had her absorb the primal chaos aura. You brat, where is my son? Hurry up and hand him over. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Even if you saved me before, don't think about living. At that moment, when Xia Feng returned to her senses and realized that Feng Su had disappeared, she was instantly enraged. Her brain lost all ability to make judgments and threatened Lin Rei directly. Ugh. Looking at Xia Feng's reaction, Lin Rei smiled and didn't mind Xia Feng's actions. He knew the reason why Xia Feng did this. That was because she realized that her son was gone. Lin Rei understood this very well. After all, if it were him, perhaps he would be even more unreasonable than her. Haha. Don't worry, your son is fine. He is now in a safe place where he will continue to grow stronger. Lin Rei said and couldn't help but glance at Xia Feng. Then, he continued, as for the outside world, he won't receive anything. After receiving the inheritance, his level will still be the same. However, it won't be the same in that place. At that moment, Lin Rei revealed the benefits of the system. At that moment, he told Xia Feng everything in one go. Let me tell you, he will receive something that he can't in this world. Of course, it's not in the celestial realm, but he won't receive anything in the outside world. If you insist, I can let him out. As for going to the holy mountain, I can also wait. But when the time comes, your son, okay. Just as Lin Rei was about to say that he wanted to move Lin Rei out of the system, a voice appeared in Xia Feng's mind. That voice told her to believe in Lin Rei. Although it was a little ridiculous, she believed in him. Before Lin Li could finish speaking, she immediately spoke up to stop him. This time, it was the exact opposite of what she had done before. Previously, she wanted her son to appear, but now, she really wanted her son to continue staying in the mysterious place that Lin Li had spoken of. Okay, I believe in you. I believe that you can make my son stronger. I believe that you can do it. As soon as she said this, Lin Rei's fluctuating emotions calmed down. Okay. Since you said that, it means that we can go to the holy mountain now, right? Upon hearing this, Xia Feng was speechless. But Lin Rei was right. Since the matter of her son receiving the inheritance had been resolved, she could go to the holy mountain now. Here. This is for you. Although the quality of the pill isn't good, I hope you won't reject it. Recalling that Xia Feng was left with some internal injuries when breaking the enchanted field, Lin Rei took out the Heaven Spirit pill that he had just refined and handed it to Xia Feng. Facing Lin Rei's action, Xia Feng was taken aback, but she didn't reject it. Then, a stream of spiritual energy appeared and wrapped Lin Rei's pill. Then, the spiritual energy dragged the pill into Xia Feng's mouth. The moment Xia Feng ate Lin Rei's pill, her closed eyes suddenly opened and a glint flashed across her eyes. This is the pill that you refined? The demonic phoenix couldn't help but ask in astonishment as she sensed the powerful medicinal effects. She stared at Lin Li in astonishment. Not bad. What's wrong? In response to Xia Feng's question, Lin Rei didn't have to hide the truth. Anyway, he didn't intend to hide his identity as a pill master. Kid, I didn't expect you to be a god emperor cultivator at such a young age. What's more surprising is that you're such a powerful pill master. Seeing Xia Feng's reaction, Lin Rei was taken aback. He didn't understand why Xia Feng had changed so much. At that moment, just as Lin Rei was about to say something, Xia Feng's voice sounded again. Kid, I have another request. I wonder if you can agree to it. Lin Rei was completely stunned by Xia Feng's question. However, Lin Rei nodded his head and agreed to it. What? What is it? Okay. Seeing Lin Rei agree, Xia Feng immediately told him her thoughts. I want my son to follow you. Of course, I don't ask for much. I just want you to maintain my son's cultivation resources. Of course, if you want resources, I can naturally fight for my son. But after I complete the deal with you, I will be heading to the Holy World to find the Heavenly Emperor to settle the score. If I bring Feng Su with me, I'm afraid." Hearing this, Lin Rei nodded his head in understanding. "Okay, I understand." However, how could Lin Rei give up such a good opportunity? After all, Feng Su was a true ancient divine beast. Moreover, she was born from the first batch of living beings in the world. Her talent was even more obvious. "Okay, don't worry. If you really leave, I will definitely complete what you said today. As for pills, if your son wants to eat them, I can make him vomit." Xia Feng had already expected Lin Rei to agree to her request. At the same time, she was very happy. However, Xia Feng was a little disapproving of Lin Rei's words. "Okay, since that's the case, let's go. I will help you complete the 3 deals as soon as possible. Then, I will leave this place." Okay. Looking at Xia Feng, Lin Rei did not say anything and immediately jumped onto Xia Feng's back. As for the Scarlet Flame Tiger, Lin Rei nodded to it. Without waiting for its reply, he immediately kept it back into the system. "Let's go." Everything was ready. Xia Feng spread her wings and instantly soared into the sky, disappearing into the horizon. The sacred mountain was in the center of the ghost world. There were 3 ghost kings guarding it, and the 3 ghost kings were the true guardians of the ghost world. As long as it was an order from the 3 ghost kings, everyone had to obey. Otherwise, those who disobeyed would definitely disappear from this world. As for the reincarnation mirror, it was even more mysterious. Everyone wanted to see it quickly. However, because the requirements to open the reincarnation mirror were too harsh, even the 3 ghost kings had not been able to open it. At the starting ground, in the Archaean Sect's camp, Wuxia was chatting happily with Lin Yun. Especially when she heard Lin Yun talk about the interesting things that happened to Lin Rei in the lower realm, she laughed even more excitedly. Ha ha ha, apart from their laughter, no other sound could be heard in the camp. Regarding this, apart from the Xuanzong sect, the other Archaean sect members felt very helpless. "Okay, Senior Wuxia. Since we know about my father's situation, we should leave now." Looking at the time, Lin Yun stood up and bid farewell to Wuxia. Then, he turned around and prepared to leave. But at this moment, Wuxia hurriedly stood up and stopped him. "Lin Yun, can you go out like this? Wanting to establish a sect in the divine realm isn't a joke. You have to know that you're still too weak. Even the weakest sect in the divine realm can crush you. Are you sure you want to do this?" He had already heard about Lin Yun wanting to establish a sect in the god realm. Therefore, when he saw that Lin Yun was about to leave, he couldn't help but speak out to dissuade him. "Tsk, this matter. I know what I'm doing. Although I know that my Xuanzong sect is too weak right now, so weak that we can't even compare to the lowest level sect in the god realm, so what? The sect was established by my father. I can't watch all the disciples of the sect join other sections. If that happens, my father will definitely blame me. Chio." At this moment, Lin Rei, who was riding on Xia Feng to the sacred mountain, suddenly sneezed. Then, he looked around in puzzlement and said to himself, "Who's thinking of me?" Of course, he would never have imagined that his son, Lin Yun, had already brought the Xuanzong sect he had founded back then to the god realm. SSS. Why won't you listen to my advice? Do you know how powerful a divine armament cultivator is? Do you know how powerful a divine guard is? Do you know, at this moment, Wuxia was getting more and more agitated. So much so that he couldn't help but use his body language when speaking. Looking at Wuxia's appearance, Lin Yun's heart warmed. He knew that Wuxia was doing this to protect him and the disciples of the Xuanzong sect behind him. But if he didn't do this, would he really have to join the god sect? Just like this, when the two disagreed, the two fell into a stalemate. Time passed little by little. Lin Yun and Wuxia just stood there, ignoring each other. Just like that, the stalemate continued. Finally, at this moment, Wuxia let out a long sigh. As though he had made an important decision, he opened his mouth and broke the current stalemate. How about this? If you want to establish a sect in the deity realm, I won't stop you. But to ensure your safety, I have to watch over you. I will temporarily join you until your father, Linley, returns. Only then will I leave. Oh. Really? At this moment, after hearing Gu Si's thoughts, Lin Yun was stunned for a moment. He had never thought that Gu Si would be like this. Yes, that's right. Although your father and I can't be considered as close friends, I admire his character very much. Therefore, I am willing to help you until your father returns. After receiving another confirmation, Lin Yun became excited. Although he didn't know Gu Si's current strength, he knew that he must be very powerful to be friends with his father. Alright, thank you, Senior Gu Si. Don't worry, I'll be very careful when it comes to establishing the sect. Furthermore, before the sect's strength increases, I won't let the sect appear in front of others. Chapter 589. Tell me about your plan. After all, I'm not very familiar with the sect. Moreover, I've only heard about the Xuanzong sect from Lin Ray back in the Death Canyon. As for the specifics. Speaking of which, Gu Si shrugged with a puzzled expression on his face. Okay, then I'll tell you my idea. Lin Yun didn't know why, but he inexplicably trusted Gu Si. Moreover, the most inconceivable thing to Lin Yun was that he actually wanted to tell this person he had just met about his idea. Hearing Lin Yun's words, Gu Si smiled. He knew that Lin Yun believed him. It's like this. Just like that, Lin Yun told Gu Si his plan in detail. I want to find a paradise and then decide on the location of the sect. After that, I'll let the sect's disciples cultivate in seclusion or go out to gain experience to increase their strength. Not bad, a good idea. Hearing Lin Yun's plan, Gu Si nodded in agreement. Of course, it wasn't that he wanted to agree, but with the Xuanzong sect's current strength, this was the only way. It was impossible to think of anything else. Then when a portion of the sect's disciples reach a certain level, I'll send a portion of them to look for my father, Lin Ray. As for the other portion, I'll lead them to start activities in the God realm and strive to spread the sect's prestige as soon as possible. Speaking of which, Lin Yun paused for a moment. After glancing at Gu Si, he continued, there are two uses for this. Firstly, this will allow my father, Lin Ray, to hear news of me and the sect coming. Secondly, it will let those sects that have been living comfortably for a long time know that the Xuanzong sect is coming and their comfortable lives are coming to an end. Hearing Lin Yun's idea, Gu Si frowned. He didn't quite agree with Lin Yun's idea. He somewhat understood the first, but he didn't quite understand the second. At this moment, Lin Yun naturally noticed Gu Si's doubts and immediately explained, my Xuanzong sect has been a giant ever since it was founded. Although we've just entered the God realm, we're not willing to be too comfortable. This way, the disciples below us will develop laziness in their bones. I believe that this is something no sect wants to see. Hearing this, Gu Si couldn't help showing a look of admiration. He felt that Lin Yun was right. If the sect's disciples' laziness, then the sect would already be on the path to extinction. Secondly, it's through experience. Only by constantly forcing yourself can you quickly increase your strength. I believe that these thoughts of mine are also the thoughts of every Xuanzong sect's disciple. Only in this way can our Xuanzong sect quickly squeeze into the ranks of the God realm's giants. Whoa. At this moment, after hearing Lin Yun's words, the way Gu Si looked at him changed. He no longer looked after him like before, but looked at him as if he was of the same generation. As for what Lin Yun had just said, Gu Si was completely convinced. He didn't expect that Lin Ray was already abnormal enough, but he didn't expect that his son would also be so abnormal. Regarding this, Gu Si was completely speechless. As expected, like father, like son. Like father, like son. Let's not talk about your father's strength, I didn't expect that as his son, you would also be the same. You're too modest. Compared to my father, I'm simply a small child in front of a great one. These experiences were all passed down by my father. Moreover, the Xuanzong Sect's disciples behind me are all geniuses that my father recruited from various worlds. Every one of them is one of the best, and I believe it's the same even in the God realm. Gu Si didn't want to say anything about Lin Yun's words. He was completely convinced by Lin Rui. Not only did he have a powerful and mysterious team, but he also had a sect full of geniuses. However, he still didn't believe Lin Yun's words. If one were to say that everyone in the Xian sect were geniuses, he would not believe it. If one were to say that there were a few, he could still accept it. However, just based on what he saw, there were more than 30,000 geniuses. This was no joke. Seeing Gu Si's rich expression, Lin Yun laughed in his heart, but he didn't laugh out loud. Alright, let's go. I'll help you find the location of your sect. Really? Yes. That's great. Gu Si's words had solved one of Lin Yun's biggest worries. After all, he had just arrived in the God realm and didn't know much about the God realm. Therefore, Lin Yun was very happy that Gu Si was helping him find a location for his sect. It's nothing. After all, I'm also a member of the Xuanzong Sect now. Gu Si took out a map and placed it on the table. The entire map of the 9 prefectures appeared in front of Lin Yun. When he saw the 9 prefectures of the God realm, Lin Yun couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. The map that appeared in front of Lin Yun was very detailed. He was sure that even when he was in the immortal world, he hadn't seen such a detailed map. Moreover, it wasn't just the details of the map. What shocked Lin Yun even more was the size of the map. If the immortal world was compared to the God realm, Lin Yun wouldn't be able to compare the size of the immortal world to the God realm. Of course, even if the Xuanzong sect became the ruler of the immortal world, he was still curious about how big the immortal world was. Moreover, Lin Yun dared to guarantee that the map of the God realm that appeared in front of him was definitely not the entire God realm. Alright, hurry up and take a look. Where do you want to establish your sect? Gu Si could understand Lin Yun's shocked expression. She didn't say anything else and directly asked Lin Yun. Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun pondered and looked at the map of the God realm. On the map, all the dangerous places, hidden places, and the heavenly chasm were clearly indicated. Even the major sects were marked on it. His gaze quickly focused on the map. All kinds of dangerous places, hidden places, and the heavenly chasm floated in front of Lin Yun's eyes. At this moment, a name appeared in front of him. His eyes, which were originally calm like an ancient well, suddenly flashed. Then, his gaze was fixed on that place. Gu Si also noticed Lin Yun's abnormality. She immediately looked at the map. However, when Gu Si saw the place Lin Yun was looking at, her expression changed and she quickly stopped him. No, that place can't be. That place really can't be. It's too dangerous. With your current strength, it's not suitable for you to go there. Oh, why? Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun asked curiously. He knew that the place he was looking at was a hidden place. However, when he saw that place for the first time, he was deeply attracted by the topography and the name of the place. At the same time, at that moment, he decided to establish his sect there. Looking at Lin Yun's fearless appearance, Gu Si really wanted to go up and give him a knock on the head. She rolled her eyes at him. Even so, Gu Si still told him about the situation there. Celestial Dragon Mountain is one of the most powerful places in the God realm. Let's not talk about you. Even if I were to enter, it would be impossible for me to escape unscathed. Oh. Hearing this, Lin Yun's face was full of surprise. However, he didn't give up on the idea of going to Celestial Dragon Mountain. Celestial Dragon Mountain. The reason why it's called Celestial Dragon Mountain is because someone once saw the Dragon Clan inside. The Dragon Clan is a godly existence. Even though we're Divine Realm experts now, when we meet the Dragon Clan, we can only be torn apart. Dragon race? Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun became even more interested in that place. Especially when he heard that there might be the existence of the dragon race, he was even more determined to go there. Dragon race? So what if it's the dragon race? In the Xuanzong sect, there are two dragon race, a black dragon and a golden dragon. They were both obtained by Lin Rui, but when Lin Rui ascended to the god realm, he left them behind in the immortal world, accompanied by the cloud pagoda. Yes, that's right, the dragon race. Not only that, the demonic beasts there are also very powerful, so you should reconsider. Moreover, the god realm is so big, you might not necessarily fly to Celestial Dragon Mountain. There are many other places, such as the Thousand Treasures Mountain, the Universe Cave, Nikuan Cave or something like that. At this moment, Gu Si was thinking of ways to stop Lin Yun from establishing a sect in Celestial Dragon Mountain. Haha. Looking at his appearance, Lin Yun revealed a harmless expression. Gu Si didn't understand Lin Yun's sudden smile. If an ordinary person heard his words, they would have changed their direction. He would definitely change his path and go somewhere else. But Lin Yun didn't do what he thought he would do at this moment. Awoo! Awoo! Suddenly, two dragon roars resounded through the clouds. If Gu Si hadn't already set up a barrier, these dragon roars would have resounded through the universe and the 9 heavens. Dragon roars? This. Although he had never seen the dragon clan before, he was very clear about the dragon's roar. The moment he heard the dragon's roar. When he heard the dragon roars, Gu Si didn't even think about it. Her late-stage divine ancestor cultivation was released and she vigilantly looked around. Not only that, but the moment the dragon roar sounded, Gu Si rushed to Lin Yun's side and used her own cultivation to set up a barrier to envelop him. Looking at Gu Si's actions, Lin Yun's heart felt warm. He really wanted to poach such a person and make her a true disciple of the Xuanzong sect. At the same time, he was happy that his father, Lin Rui, could make such a friend. Be quiet. I don't know what's going on, but there are dragon roars here. If a dragon race really appears, you should leave first. Even if I have to drag it out, I have to ensure your safety. Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun revealed a guilty expression. He could explain the dragon roars just now. Moreover, he was the instigator of this matter. Chapter 590. Senior, I'm sorry. You should withdraw your cultivation first. When Gu Si, who was vigilant of her surroundings, heard the voice behind her, she turned her head to look at Lin Yun with a doubtful expression. When Gu Si saw the apologetic expression on Lin Yun's face, he immediately felt that something was wrong. Senior, I'm really sorry. Actually, the dragon roar was made by me. What? It was you. Gu Si cried out in surprise. But he didn't dare to believe his words. At the same time, his eyes were filled with shock. Even though he didn't want to believe it, after seeing Lin Yun's apologetic expression, he slowly began to accept this fact. Yes, it was me. No, it wasn't me, but it has something to do with me. What are you talking about? If it was you, then it was you. If it wasn't you, then it wasn't you. What do you mean by, it wasn't you? You've confused me. Lin Yun didn't explain further after hearing Gu Si's words. Then, he opened the cloud pagoda and let the dark dragon and the little golden dragon out. Roar, roar, 2 dragon roars resounded at this moment. Not only that, but the moment the cloud pagoda was released, a dazzling light instantly appeared in the room. As soon as the strong light appeared, Gu Si couldn't bear it and hurriedly closed her eyes. Only after the light disappeared did she slowly open her eyes. However, the moment she opened her eyes, there were 2 more people in the room. One was a teenager, and the other was a middle-aged man. Looking at the 2 of them, Gu Si fell silent. His eyes were filled with doubt. He didn't understand how the 2 of them came in. He remembered that he had already set up a barrier when he entered the room. Thinking of this, Wuxia hurriedly released his divine sense to investigate the barrier. It's not broken. Seeing this, Wuxia was even more bewildered. He then asked Lin Yun, these two are? This is Long Ao, and this is the little golden dragon. Lin Yun didn't hide anything from Wuxia. He pointed at the man and the child and introduced them to Wuxia. Long Ao? Little golden dragon? Hearing their names, Wuxia was even more puzzled. However, at this moment, a scene that Wuxia would never forget for the rest of her life appeared. At this moment, the two of them turned into two dragons, one black and the other golden. Because the house was small, the two of them only transformed into dragons that were about 2 meters tall. Plop! Lin Yun, who had been observing the changes of the black dragon and the little golden dragon, heard a strange sound and immediately looked down. He saw that Wuxia, who was originally standing straight, had fallen to the ground. Her eyes were filled with shock and her forehead was dripping with cold sweat. Xiao Yun, don't make me do this kind of thing in the future. It's like playing a monkey. Seeing Wuxia's current appearance, Long Ao glanced at her with disdain and instantly disappeared from the house. Brat, even your father didn't do this to us back then. Remember, this is the first and last time. If there's no danger in the future, don't look for us. At this moment, the little golden dragon was just like Long Ao and coldly reprimanded Lin Yun before entering the cloud tower. At this moment, Lin Yun, who was being reprimanded by the two dragons, revealed an awkward expression. They were right. When he was born, they were already by Lin Rei's side. Therefore, according to seniority, they were all elders. That. Senior, now you know what happened, right? Therefore, I must go to the Celestial Dragon Mountain. As for you, if you want to go, I welcome you. If you don't want to go, I hope you won't dissuade me. At this moment, Wuxia, who had fallen to the ground due to the sudden appearance of the two dragons, had no reason to stop him. Lin Yun had two dragons by his side. Even if he really met a dragon in the Celestial Dragon Mountain, it wouldn't be a big problem. Yes, I won't stop you. Previously, I didn't know that you had two such existences. Now that I know, I support you. If you really go, you will be able to encounter extraordinary opportunities. Okay. Hearing Wuxia's nod of agreement, Lin Yun's face revealed a smile. He agreed with this matter very much. When he first saw the Celestial Dragon Mountain, he had decided on that place. At this moment, Wuxia's face was flushed red. He sorted out his emotions in shame and immediately stood up from the ground. Let's go. Since that's the case, let's hurry up and leave. If we stay here, those sects will definitely find clues. Lin Yun had already planned to leave immediately after hearing Wuxia's words. Therefore, he wasn't surprised by his words. Okay, let's go. After the two finished discussing, Wuxia left a letter for the town head of the divine sect here and left with Lin Yun. The group came quickly and left quickly. When they arrived, they had left a deep impression on everyone. When they left, they were silent. However, the news of Lin Yun and the tens of thousands of disciples behind him had already been reported to their respective sects by the people guarding the starting ground. Aoo, in the sky above the intersection of the eastern and central parts of the ghost realm, a xia feng covered in undying flames was like a meteor as it streaked across the sky and disappeared in an instant. Sitting on her back was a person. That person had his eyes closed and looked like he was meditating. Hey, Lin Rei, how much longer do we need to reach the sacred mountain? We've been flying for so long. This person was none other than Lin Rei, who was piloting Xia Feng to the sacred mountain. The second person was naturally Xia Feng. I heard from passers-by that we should be arriving soon. We should be at the intersection of the eastern and central parts. If I'm not wrong, with your current speed, we should be able to reach in a month. What, there's still a month? At this moment, the evil phoenix's brows were tightly furrowed as it unwillingly exclaimed. Yes, that's right. Of course, you can be even faster. I know that you haven't used your full strength along the way. If you use your full strength, I estimate that you'll be several times faster than now. 10 days, at most 10 days, you should be able to reach the sacred mountain. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng's furrowed brows relaxed and then revealed an embarrassed expression. You know that I haven't used my full strength? Xia Feng was very confident that Lin Rei wouldn't know that she hadn't used her full strength. But now, it seemed that she was too naive and conceited. Of course, if the Phoenix clan is really so weak, then you wouldn't be the first batch of creatures after the opening of the sky. So, I knew from the first day you flew. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng became even more embarrassed. She didn't expect Lin Rei to know so much. That's enough. It's my fault these few days. I'll use my full strength from now on. Whoosh. While speaking, Lin Rei could feel that Xia Feng was increasing her flying speed. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. The flying speed of the Phoenix clan isn't as little as what you said. During the prehistoric times, the Phoenix clan could fly tens of thousands of miles with a flap of their wings. After hearing Xia Feng's words, Lin Rei was taken aback and didn't say a word. After increasing her flying speed, Xia Feng's speed was indeed faster, and it wasn't just a little bit faster. The journey that was supposed to take 30 days was shortened to 10 days after Lin Rei exposed it. However, Lin Rei didn't expect that in order to prove the speed of the Phoenix clan, Xia Feng would shorten the journey from 10 days to 5 days. During these 5 days, Lin Rei cultivated continuously. At this moment, he didn't dare to waste any time. Not only for himself, but also for the people he wanted to protect. However, during these 5 days, Xia Feng kept pestering him, saying that she wanted to see her son. Without a choice, on the third day, Lin Rei had no choice but to stop and move Xia Feng out of the system so that Xia Feng could see her son to her heart's content. On the other hand, Feng Su didn't disappoint him. In the training field in the system, she absorbed the chaos aura and her strength increased by several folds. Her cultivation base also improved immensely. Phoenixes were born with the strength of a grand unity true immortal. During this period of time, Feng Su continuously received the inheritance and baptism of the chaos aura in the system. At this moment, Feng Su's cultivation base had reached the early stage of the immortal Lord realm. When Lin Li saw the change in Feng Su's strength, he was shocked. Feng Su's cultivation speed was simply too fast, to the point that even he himself felt somewhat inferior. However, what Lin Rei didn't know was that he wasn't the only one who was shocked. Xia Feng was even more shocked. Although she was confident in her son's talent, she didn't expect his cultivation base to improve so much in such a short period of time. At this moment, she felt that her decision to entrust Feng Su to Lin Rei was even more correct. After looking at Feng Su for a while, Lin Rei kept Feng Su back into the system. This time, Xia Feng didn't stop him. In the following days, Xia Feng flew even faster. Finally, on the 5th day, Lin Rei, who was piloting Xia Feng, finally arrived at the sacred mountain that he had been dreaming of. Huff! 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 At this moment, Lin Rei, who was standing at the foot of the sacred mountain, raised his head and looked at the peak of the sacred mountain. Suddenly, a chilly wind blew in his face, accompanied by the unpleasant smell of rotting corpses. Sensing the environment, Lin Rei began to doubt whether this was the sacred mountain. He even suspected that he had come to the wrong place. Let's go. Since we're already here, how will we know if it's real if we don't go up and take a look? At this moment, just as Lin Rei was doubting the mountain in front of him, the system's cold voice suddenly sounded. You're right. If we don't go up and take a look, how will we know if it's real or fake? Thinking of this, Lin Rei's eyes became determined. He nodded to Xia Feng and said, "Let's go. Let's go up and take a look." Right now, the demonic phoenix was extremely respectful towards Lin Li, for no other reason than that. She only wanted to help her son improve his strength. Chapter 591. At this moment, Lin Rei wasn't riding on Xia Feng. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but just now, Xia Feng told him that there was a very powerful seal on the sacred mountain. Even she couldn't fly in the air. Lin Rei was filled with shock and curiosity, but also helplessness. He didn't know whether the sacred mountain was dangerous or not. At this moment, the chance to find his wife and son was right in front of him. He couldn't wait to grow wings and fly up, but now he had to walk. No one knew whether the sacred mountain was dangerous or not, let alone the three ghost kings. Ai. Sighing to himself, Lin Li could only walk up the mountain step by step with a helpless look on his face. The sacred mountain was very big. It wasn't comparable to an ordinary 10,000 meters high. Looking up from the foot of the mountain, it was simply towering into the sky. Lin Rei had a headache about this. Hee, alright, let's go. I'll accompany you. What else do you want? At this moment, Demonic Phoenix, by Lin Li's side, could sense the gloomy aura emanating from him. Hee, that's true. Lin Rei completely trusted Xia Feng. After all, her son was here with him. Therefore, Lin Rei wasn't afraid of her stirring up trouble. Ow woo. It had been a while since they entered the sacred mountain. The road was very quiet. Even the sounds of birds and beasts couldn't be heard. As the saying went, if something abnormal happened, there must be a demon. Just as Lin Rei was feeling suspicious, suddenly, a shocking roar of beasts came from the sky. The puzzled Lin Rei immediately became vigilant. He quickly operated the primal chaos scripture and a simple spell appeared in his hand. He was ready to deal with any unexpected situation. Be careful. I can feel that the group of demonic beasts in front seems to be guarding something. They are very strong. The weakest is a divine ancestor, and the strongest is a late-stage god emperor. As for the others, I haven't sensed them yet. But after coming here, I have a feeling of unease. With regards to Xia Feng's strength, Lin Rei knew that he was far inferior to her. But now that he heard that there was something here that could affect her uneasiness, Lin Rei was completely on guard. If there was anything that could make Xia Feng feel uneasy, it would be easy for him to kill it. Can you feel what it is? No, maybe I'm mistaken. Besides, I've been suppressed here for so many years. I still don't know what this world has become. Lin Rei didn't listen to Xia Feng's answer. Since he said that he was uneasy, there must be something here. Well, it's better to be careful. After all, if you often walk by the river, how can your shoes not be wet? It's always good to be more careful. Alright, got it. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng nodded heavily and then became vigilant. However, at this moment, the deeper Xia Feng went, the stronger the uneasiness in his heart. What's going on? What on earth is affecting my mind? Xia Feng was puzzled. His divine sense instantly reached out. It began to spread toward the top of the mountain. In the sage realm, the divine sense cultivated was already very powerful. It could even use the divine sense to sense the lower realm. Of course, there was still a limit to this. His divine sense explored the top of the mountain bit by bit. Everything that happened along the way appeared clearly in the evil phoenix's mind. Everything was going very smoothly. Suddenly, a huge and mysterious energy suddenly appeared. Xia Feng could feel the huge and terrifying power of this energy. This energy that suddenly appeared was like a barrier that blocked his divine sense and didn't let him continue to explore. This sudden appearance alerted Xia Feng. Regarding this, he knew that there was something on this holy mountain that he couldn't deal with. How can it be? How can there be such energy here? I'm already in the sage realm. Even if there are sages in the divine realm, they can't be stronger than me. But what's the situation now? What happened in the outside world during the years I was suppressed? Why did so many inconceivable things happen after I appeared? At this moment, Lin Rei naturally didn't know what Xia Feng was thinking. At this moment, Lin Rei only wanted to climb to the top of the mountain and then find the whereabouts of his wife and child with the power of the reincarnation mirror. That was all. TSK, should I tell him what happened to me just now? At this time, Xia Feng was very conflicted. She was conflicted about whether to tell Lin Rei what she had just encountered. Time passed little by little. Lin Rei led Xia Feng forward step by step, while Xia Feng, who was behind them, was conflicted all the way until now. Sigh, forget it, I'd better tell him. Although this will make me lose face, it's better than him dying, my son having no place to improve his strength. Thinking of this, Xia Feng quickly came to Lin Rei's side and stretched out her wings to block Lin Rei. Looking at Xia Feng, who suddenly appeared to block him, Lin Rei was very confused. But when he saw Xia Feng's frown, his heart suddenly sank. Then, a bad premonition crept into his heart. Did something happen? That's right. Hearing Lin Rei's question, Xia Feng did not hide anything and told him everything that she had just encountered. Just now, I used my divine sense to explore the situation at the top of the mountain, but who knew that when I was halfway up the mountain, a mysterious and frightening force suddenly appeared and directly blocked my divine sense, causing my divine sense to be unable to continue exploring. What? Is there something blocking your divine sense? Are you sure? Lin Rei was shocked by Xia Feng's words. He really could not figure out what kind of force could block Xia Feng, who had already entered the saint level. At the same time, he became even more nervous. He knew that this trip to the sacred mountain was definitely not going to be that easy. Originally, he thought that this trip to the sacred mountain would be much easier with Xia Feng. Now, it seemed that was not the case. Sigh, that's enough. Since I know that something can block you, then I have to be more careful and pay more attention. I know. Actually, I'm also very curious about what kind of thing can block my divine sense. Speaking of this, Xia Feng's face revealed a hint of curiosity. Do as you see fit. Looking at Xia Feng's current appearance, Lin Rei ignored her and continued to move forward. Awoo. 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 However, the further they went, the louder the roars of the beasts became, and the louder the sound became. Whoosh! At this moment, Lin Rei released 15, who was stored in the system, and was about to fight the group of roaring beasts. With 15's help, the speed of moving forward would be faster. It's you, kid? 15's appearance also attracted Xia Feng's attention. When she saw 15's appearance, Xia Feng frowned. Wasn't this the Azura clan kid who had blocked her from being born? Hearing someone speak, 15 immediately turned to look at Xia Feng. The moment 15 saw Xia Feng, he stood rooted to the ground like a piece of wood, his eyes filled with disbelief. Lin Rei noticed the two of them, especially 15. 15 only had one side in front of him, and that was indifference. Apart from his icy face, he did not know anything else. At this moment, he saw 15 standing rooted to the ground like a wooden chicken. Lin Rei was very curious about this. You're from the Phoenix clan? At this moment, 15 was silent for a moment before he asked Evil Phoenix with a tone full of disbelief. That's right. I'm from the Phoenix clan, and I'm the clan leader of the Phoenix clan, Feng Huang. What, you're Feng Huang? 15 screamed in shock when he heard Xia Feng's words, his eyes filled with disbelief. That's right. You know me? Even though she had met 15 before, 15 had never seen her before, which was why she didn't have such a reaction. But now that they met, her reaction was a little too big. All of a sudden, 15 burst into laughter. His voice was so loud that it could be heard from all directions. Lin Rei and Xia Feng couldn't understand why 15 burst into laughter. Both of them turned to 15 dubiously. the laughter lasted for more than 10 minutes before 15 finally stopped. Then, he turned to Xia Feng and said in a deep voice, "Of course I'm familiar with the Phoenix clan. Back then, I was the general by the patriarch's side. During the Dragon Han calamity, not only did your 3 clans participate in the war, but my Azura clan also participated." "What? Back then, you also?" Upon hearing 15's words, it was Xia Feng's turn to be taken aback. At that moment, the memories of the Dragon Han calamity surfaced clearly in Xia Feng's mind. The scenes from back then were still fresh in her mind. Not only were they painful memories, but they were also memories that she didn't want to recall the most. Back then, the Phoenix clan went to the Blood Sea to invite my patriarch to participate in the Dragon Han calamity. Back then, my Azura clan made it clear that we didn't wish to participate. But back then, Huang Ting used the blessings of the Phoenix clan as collateral to get my Azura clan to participate in the war. In the end, due to Huang Ting's pleading, my patriarch finally agreed. At that moment, Xia Feng was deeply immersed in her memories while 15 continued his narration. On the other hand, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He had never heard 15 mention this before. In the end, my Azura clan participated in the war. But back then, Huang Ting allowed my Azura clan to be the vanguard and hundreds of thousands of my Azura clan members died in an instant. If it weren't for my patriarch who used his foundation as a guarantee to save 36 of us, perhaps my Azura clan would have been wiped out. Chapter 592. I'm sorry. At this moment, 15 had finished her story and Xia Feng seemed to have returned to reality from her memories. At this moment, Xia Feng's gaze towards 15 was no longer filled with disdain. Instead, it was filled with apologies. Although the Phoenix race wasn't the Phoenix race, Phoenixes had never left home since ancient times. Therefore, the Phoenix race's matter was the Phoenix race's matter. Looking at Xia Feng's apologetic expression, 15 remained silent and her eyes revealed a conflicted expression. "Aya, are you alright?" At this moment, Lin Rei understood what was going on after hearing 15's words. He didn't want the two of them to be in such a state and jumped out immediately. Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng and 15 looked at Lin Rei dubiously. Lin Rei wasn't afraid of their gazes at all. Then, he voiced out his thoughts. "You guys are really... How many years has it been?" Even though it's still the prehistoric era, the root of this matter is a tribulation and it's inevitable. Look at the two of you. 15 and Xia Feng squeezed out a smile in response to Lin Rei's words. However, they didn't think that Lin Rei's words were unreasonable. After all, this matter wasn't their fault. Besides, it had been so many years. Even if there was a huge grudge between them, they should be indifferent to it. However, Linley knew that this matter couldn't be resolved overnight. Therefore, after he finished speaking, he didn't pay any more attention to the two of them. Instead, he took the initiative to retreat to the side and wait quietly. At this moment, the two of them looked at each other. The pain and conflict from before had lessened somewhat. Perhaps Linley didn't know that his words had caused the knot of hatred between the two of them to slowly unravel. Roar. Roar. While the two of them remained silent, the roars of beasts were getting closer and closer. The ground shook and the trees trembled. What happened? Lin Rei's first reaction was to take out his Chaos Dragon Spear. 9 dragons appeared above Lin Rei's head. The roar of every dragon's soul could shake the heavens. What? 9 azure dragons? This kid. Ignoring the roars of the beasts and the shaking of the earth, Xia Feng's gaze fell upon the 9 azure dragons above Lin Rei's head the moment the dragon roars appeared. At this moment, Xia Feng's face was filled with shock and disbelief. She had never imagined that someone who possessed the Shura clan would also possess 9 dragon souls. Furthermore, she could sense that the 9 dragon souls were of a higher level than her when they were alive. How is this possible? However, Lin Rei naturally wouldn't answer Xia Feng's doubts. It wasn't that he didn't want to. Instead, it was because there was a horde of over 10,000 beasts charging towards them. F***CK. Why are there so many of them? Lin Fan stared at the beasts. Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He had seen a horde of beasts before. However, the horde of beasts that Lin Rei had seen started from high to low. Right now, the horde of beasts that Lin Rei saw were all Emperor God beasts. F***CKU. Are you kidding me? Lin Rei couldn't care less about anything else. He turned around and shouted to 15 and Xia Feng, kill. Kill anyone who stands in my way. Xia Feng frowned and her heart skipped a beat. She looked down at the horde of beasts. Even though they weren't a threat to her, she couldn't kill all of them. Whoosh! A figure dashed towards the horde of beasts the moment Lin Rei finished his sentence. Xia Feng looked up and saw 15 holding the heavenly halberd. He had already reached the center of the horde of beasts. The heavenly halberd in his hand seemed to have come to life and became the perfect weapon to kill. Even though 15 was only a late-stage monarch god, he was still a survivor of the Eldritch era. He could still deal with the horde of beasts in front of him. Everywhere 15 went, there were mountains of corpses and seas of blood. The corpses were piled up into mountains. The scene was like hell. It was extremely cruel. Haha. Alright, I'm coming too. As he watched 15 fight, Linley, who was standing outside the battle circle, felt his fighting spirit soar to a peak. The blood in his body began to boil. Looking at the murderous 15, Linley could no longer care about anything else. Although he was blind, he could still use his divine sense. His divine sense was like his eyes. With a swoosh, Linley moved as well. The primal chaos dragon spear in his hand erupted with an astonishing spear intent. As for the 9 azure dragons above Linley's head, as soon as Linley moved, they charged into the battlefield and began to slaughter. Hiss. The demonic phoenix, who hadn't joined the battle yet, was stunned on the spot when he saw Linley and 15 kill so decisively. He sucked in a breath of cold air. She couldn't use words to describe what Lin Rei and 15 were seeing. Even though she had experienced life and death battles before, she hadn't seen such a scene in a long time. Awoo, awoo, the roars of beasts resounded throughout the world, accompanied by the screams of death. After all, they were all monstrous beasts of the Emperor God level. They had long gained intelligence and could speak human language. Hunting this venerable one. Today, this venerable one will let you know what killing is, what death is. Lin Rei seemed to be in a killing frenzy. The chaos dragon spear in his hand couldn't stop. He was already an early god emperor, so he wasn't afraid of cultivators or monstrous beasts of the same level. Furthermore, there was the 9-headed dragon above his head. Lin Rei was relieved. He knew that if he couldn't pass this stage, he wouldn't be able to find his wife and son using the reincarnation mirror. Xia Feng's mouth twitched when she saw Lin Rei, who was in a killing frenzy. She didn't stay idle. After all, her son was still with Lin Rei. Instantly, the demonic phoenix moved. Right now, she was still in her demonic form, which puzzled Linley. Logically speaking, at her level, she should have assumed human form long ago, but she was still in her demonic form. Xia Feng came to the center of the beast tide with her undying flame. She wasn't afraid of these monstrous beasts since she was in the Saint Realm. Peng! Peng! Xia Feng flapped her wings casually and the monstrous beasts around her were blown away. Lin Rei didn't say anything when he felt Xia Feng's action. He didn't stop the chaos dragon spear in his hand. He smiled. Thus, the 3 of them were not to be trifled with. As Linley and the other 2 continued their slaughter, the beast tide grew smaller and smaller. In the end, when there were only 100 left, Linley stopped his slaughter. Phew, Lin Rei heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the monstrous beasts around him. His face relaxed. Hee, how was it? Did you have fun killing them? Now that he was free, Linley asked 15, who had been the first to charge forward. Yes, it was okay. But it was a little small. Lin Rei didn't know how to continue 15's words. Xia Feng also heard 15's words, but she didn't have anything to say. Alright, Xia Feng, I'll leave them for you to deal with. 15 and I will go ahead first. Hearing Linley's orders, the demonic phoenix didn't feel any revulsion at all. It nodded and said, alright, you can go. Hearing this, Chen Dan ignored him and walked forward with 15. Roar. Roar. After a few moments, Lin Rei heard the monstrous beasts roaring in pain from behind. Chen Dan revealed a smile. 15, do you still hate her? He didn't want to keep this matter bottled up in 15's heart because it wouldn't do him any good. Who knew if it would cause him to have inner demons? I don't know. 15 wasn't surprised by Lin Rei's question. After all, they had known each other for so many years and he knew Lin Rei's temperament. When Lin Rei said that he wanted to go ahead, he knew that Lin Rei would ask this question. Sigh. If revenge breeds revenge, will there ever be an end to it? Although this saying is a little nonsensical, it has been so many years and you still haven't let it go. I'm really afraid that you will have inner demons because of this matter. Hearing this, 15 fell silent. Lin Rei didn't say anything. Perhaps his words would have some effect on 15, but he didn't want to affect 15's judgment because of his words. Time passed slowly as the two of them walked forward. After an unknown amount of time, 15, who had been silent for a long time, finally opened his mouth. Young master, I don't hate her anymore. When he said this, 15's expression was carefree and relaxed. Although Linley couldn't see, he could still hear the emotions in 15's voice. Okay, 15. Lin Rei was happy for 15. After all, 15 was his brother. How could he not be happy that his brother had resolved the knot in his heart? Then, he took out the wine that he kept in his ring and handed it to 15. The two of them looked at each other and smiled. Then, they raised their heads and began to gulp down the wine. Suddenly, a spicy feeling flowed through their throats, accompanied by the smell of wine. What are you guys doing? Just as Lin Rei was drinking happily because 15 had resolved the knot in his heart, Xia Feng's voice came from afar. Xia Feng's arrival was accompanied by the smell of blood. Hee, it's nothing. 15 said that he's writing off the previous grudge. What? Really? Xia Feng was stunned by Lin Rei's words. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. That's right. I don't hate anymore. Since so many years have passed, I've hated for so many years. That's enough. I'm tired. I don't want to tire myself because of that so-called hatred. Chapter 593. Looking at the two of them, Linley couldn't help but laugh. He laughed very happily. This was exactly what he wanted to see. All right. Since the hatred has been resolved, then let's not talk about this anymore. As he spoke, Lin Rei hurriedly took out a jar of wine from his ring and handed it to Xia Feng for them to drink together. Hee. Xia Feng did not refuse Lin Rei's actions. Taking the wine jar, Xia Feng's eyes were filled with gratitude. Just like that, the three of them continued on their way after drinking. Along the way, the three of them were no longer as awkward as before. They chatted and laughed as they walked up the mountain. Of course, although they had experienced a beast tide before, they knew that it was impossible for there to be only a little danger along the way. They were already prepared to endure even more danger. North. Wu State. In the Wu State's Tiancheng County, a young man with a jade flute in his hand was extremely handsome. The young man dressed in a Confucian robe always had a gentle smile on his face, giving off a very amiable feeling. Sigh. My lord, where are you? Do you know how hard I've been looking for you? This person was none other than Sakura, who had come out to look for his main body, Lin Rei, because of the purple bloodline incident. Ever since he found out about the appearance of the Ninth Continent in the restaurant that day, and saw the cultivators of the Ninth Continent appear in the 8 continents, and because his main body was a person who liked to join in the fun, he had the idea of entering the Ninth Continent. The Ninth Continent was considered one of the biggest forbidden areas in the God realm, and the most mysterious Ninth Continent was connected to none other than the northern Wu state of the 9 continents. Because of this, Sakura hurried through the night and arrived at the Wu state's Tiancheng County without stopping. During this period of time, he passed by several continents and discovered that there were many cultivators who were not from the 8 continents. Sakura had already guessed that those forces that he did not recognize were all from the 9th continent. Moreover, along the way, there were also some cultivators from the 9th continent who did not care about their lives and were tempted by the wealth. There were also many who had crooked thoughts about Sakura, but in the end, they could only blame themselves for being unlucky. In the end, the consequences of robbing Sakura could only disappear from this world. TSK. Where are you going? Although he knew that Wu State was at the border of the 9th continent, he did not know its exact location. Therefore, after he arrived at Wu State, he became a headless fly and began to wander around Wu State. At this moment, Sakura could be said to be going wherever he went. He also didn't know where he was going. The Azura clan that he had sent to find Lin Rei had not been in contact for a long time. Alas. Looking at the crowded streets of Tiancheng County, Indra's eyes were filled with confusion. Young Master D, I feel the aura of 21. Just as Sakura was at a loss, one of the 6 Azura clan members behind him hurriedly came forward and whispered in his ear. 21? Who is it? He didn't know about 21, but if Lin Rei heard him, he would immediately think that 21 was one of the 36 Shura clansmen. Similarly, 21 was also the one he had left behind in the immortal world. Back then, in order to let him send people back to the sect, he did not bring him along. Seeing Sakura's confusion, that person promptly explained, 21 is the person that young master left behind in the immortal realm back then. Now that I'm sensing 21, it's very likely that young master has already arrived at the divine realm. What? Hearing the words of the messenger, Sakura was stunned on the spot. He naturally had some impression of the little young master. When he was created by his original body, he also inherited some memories of his original body. So when he heard the words little young master, he immediately thought of Lin Yun. Thinking of this, Sakura immediately asked with an anxious expression, Then can you feel where 21 is? Little Yun and the others are here. I don't know how strong they are now. If you can feel it, then let's meet up with them first. This way, I can protect him. No. Seeing his decisive answer, Sakura's expression became disappointed. However, although I can't contact them, I can feel 21's aura and find where he is. Hearing his words, Sakura was stunned. Sakura was very unhappy with his big breath just now. However, there was nothing he could do. After all, these people were given to him by his original body. He couldn't do anything about it. Moreover, what made it even more difficult was that the Shura's strength was too strong. Even if he was Lin Rei's clone, he might not be a match for him. He calmed down the unhappiness in his heart. Then, with a calm expression, he ordered, if that's the case, then hurry up and find him. Remember, the faster the better. Yes. Hearing that, the Shura nodded his head in agreement and walked forward. Indra didn't say anything about his actions and quickly followed him. At this moment, in an inn, Lin Yun, who was being looked for by Sakura, was sitting in a restaurant with Gu Si, 21 and some other people to have a meal. Reporting to Sect Master, I feel 18's aura. Similar to Sakura's situation just now, the only Shura was eating when a feeling that made his blood tremble suddenly appeared. Then, without saying anything, he stood up and whispered in Lin Yun's ear. Oh. can you feel where he is? He knew about 18. He had seen all 36 Shura clan members, so when he heard about 18, the first thing he thought was that if he could find 18, then finding his father, Lin Rei, wouldn't be a dream anymore. Yes, I can feel it. Moreover, 21 seems to be coming to our place at this moment. Although he's not fast, I can feel it. Really? Hearing 21's words, Lin Yun was excited. If what 21 said was true, then he would be able to see his father, Lin Rei, soon. Suddenly, the excited Lin Yun didn't hide the joy in his heart. What's wrong? At this moment, Gu Si, who was sitting at the side, felt Lin Yun's abnormality and immediately asked him. Her eyes were filled with deep concern. And nothing, it's just that today's luck is better. Hearing this, Gu Si was even more confused. When Lin Yun knew that Gu Si might not understand, he immediately explained, just now, 21 sensed the aura of someone from the same clan as him, and this person is following by father's side. What, Lin Rei? How is that possible? He was in the 5th level of the Death Canyon back then. Moreover, he seemed to have something urgent at that time. Why would he appear here now? Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun frowned and was obviously a little unhappy. However, seeing that she was a senior, Lin Yun didn't take it to heart. At this moment, Gu Si also felt Lin Yun's expression and immediately knew that she had lost her composure. Then, she fell silent. Go and welcome him. Yes, Sect Master. Hearing Lin Yun's words, 21 immediately rushed out of the restaurant and rushed in the direction of 18's aura. At the same time, 18, who was beside Sakura, also felt 21's rapid approach and immediately reported to Sakura. Then, the group sped up and converged with 21. Although they were all in the Sky City County, the Sky City County was very big. If it weren't for the Azura clan's people who were very sensitive to their own clansmen, they probably wouldn't have known that they were so close. However, although they could feel each other's aura, the two sides were very far apart. Time slowly passed and the two sides quickly traveled. After half a day's journey, they finally gathered at the entrance of a tea house. Young master. At this moment, the moment 21 and Sakura met, 21 didn't dare to be sure when he saw Sakura. However, the moment the word young master came out of 21's mouth, his expression instantly changed. Then, he retreated with a gloomy expression and a vigilant look appeared on his face. Speak, who are you? Why do you have the same face as my master? Moreover, 18, why are you with him? Seeing 21 so vigilant, 18's unchanging ice face finally showed a trace of a face. And Sakura was so cautious when he saw 21. The moment he saw him, he recognized that he wasn't the original body. He admired this kind of person very much. Sometimes, even he himself couldn't tell whether he was the original body or the clone. But he didn't expect 21 to be so sure that he wasn't the original body Lin Rei. You don't have to be confused. The original body is Lin Rei's clone, and 18, they were all given to the original body by Lin Rei to protect the original body. Hearing this, 21 immediately looked at 18 and the others beside him. Well, young Master D is right. He is indeed the clone of the young master, and we are just like what young Master D said, the young master asked us to protect him. Hearing this, 21 understood and immediately withdrew the spell that he was about to bombard, but he didn't let down his vigilance. He then told them about his mission this time. Young Master D, I was ordered by the young master to come and welcome you. Why don't we go now? 18, who heard this, looked at Sakura beside her and asked for instructions. And, let's go and see Xiao Yun as soon as possible. Hearing this, both sides reached an agreement and then, 21 led the way and rushed to the north. At this moment, Lin Yun, who was waiting in the restaurant, didn't care anymore. He wanted to see his father immediately. Gu Si, who was beside him, still had a dumbfounded look on her face. Time passed little by little, and another half a day passed. Just as Lin Yun was waiting anxiously, suddenly, a familiar yet unfamiliar aura appeared. Father. Chapter 594. Lin Yun, who had been waiting for a long time, felt this familiar yet strange aura. He didn't even think that the owner of this aura was his father, Lin Rei. Whoosh! At this moment, Lin Yun released his cultivation and his body instantly disappeared from the restaurant. When Lin Yun reappeared, he was on the street outside the restaurant. Looking up at the sky, looking in the direction of the aura, he saw a group of people rushing in his direction. Father. When Lin Yun saw Sakura at the front, he didn't even think about it and thought that this person was his father, Lin Li. At this moment, Sakura in the air. When he heard a young man on the street looking at him and calling him father, his heart trembled. Of course, Sakura also knew that this person was Lin Yun, the son of his original body. The moment he saw Lin Yun, Sakura instantly released his cultivation. A moment ago, he was still 1,000 miles away, and the next moment, he was in front of Lin Yun. Hiss! Lin Yun, who had been staring at Sakura, saw the strength that Sakura released at this moment. He sucked in a mouthful of cold air and his eyes were filled with shock. This strength. Without thinking much, when he saw Sakura in front of him, Lin Yun directly knelt on the ground without saying a word and said in an excited tone, "This child greets father." Lin Yun's action made the Shura clansmen behind Sakura and Gu Si, who had already left the restaurant, feel helpless. At this moment, Gu Si, who was standing at the entrance of the restaurant, saw Sakura at first glance. Although this person was very similar to Lin Rei, he wasn't Lin Rei. Not only the clothes they wore, but more importantly, the temperament they had was different. Although the two looked very similar, Gu Si confirmed at first glance that this person was indeed 100% not Lin Rei. However, he didn't expect that Lin Yun, who was Lin Rei's son, didn't know his father. Not only him, but even the Shura clansmen standing behind Sakura were like this. They didn't expect such a scene. You, why don't you get up first? I'm not your father. At this moment, Sakura looked at Lin Yun who was kneeling in front of him and said with an awkward expression. Although he was Lin Rei's clone, he had his own thoughts. Therefore, at this moment, he could be considered a living person. Ugh! At this moment, Lin Yun, who was filled with joy, paused when he heard Sakura's words. He raised his head with difficulty and looked at Sakura with doubt. Seeing Lin Yun's doubtful expression, Sakura helplessly smiled and said, "Indeed, I'm not your father, Lin Rei. I'm only his avatar. My real name is Sakura." Hearing Sakura's words, Lin Rei slowly realized that although the person standing in front of him had the same face and figure as his father, his temperament was completely different from his father Lin Rei. His father's aura, no matter where he was, would always be emitting a trace of cold killing intent. But the person standing in front of him had a refined aura. Although he was holding the sword within the flute, Lin Yun woke up from his stupor and immediately stood up. Of course, awkwardness was unavoidable, but he didn't feel that he was at a disadvantage. After all, this person was separated from his father's body. Calling him father was also considered worthy. At this moment, the scene suddenly became calm. No one spoke. At this moment, Lin Yun stood up and wanted to chat with this avatar who looked very similar to his father. But when he wanted to speak, he didn't know how to address him. "Call me Sakura." As if he knew Lin Yun's dilemma, Sakura quickly said to him. "Haha." Hearing Sakura's words, Lin Yun smiled and bowed respectfully. "Greetings, venerable emperor." Yes. Looking at Lin Yun, Sakura didn't know why, but the blood in his body flowed faster at this moment. His heartbeat also became nervous. "Let's go in and have a seat." Looking at the calm scene, Indra hurriedly called out to the Azura clansmen behind Lin Yun. Yes. Just like this, the group entered the restaurant and found a place to sit down. As for the 7 Shura, they were arranged to sit at the table next to them by Sakura. After finishing all of this, Indra noticed that there was a pair of puzzled eyes staring at him the moment he entered the door. In response, after finishing all of this, he looked over and spoke. Fellow Taoist. Do you know what's on my face? No. No. Gu Si, who was asked, felt awkward for a moment. He had just heard that Sakura was Linley's doppelganger. However, he was very curious as to why this doppelganger was so awesome. Just the doppelganger's cultivation alone was much stronger than him. Oh, is that so? Then how should I address you, fellow Taoist? Seeing that your cultivation is in the late stage of divine ancestor, I wonder if you're from a sect, family, or the 9th continent. As for Gu Si, Disher Tian still had to investigate her. After all, there was such a powerful existence in Lin Yun's group. He definitely wouldn't foolishly think that this person had followed them from the immortal world. After all, he had just investigated Lin Yun's strength. He was only in the middle stage of the true God realm. At most, he had just entered the divine realm. Therefore, he couldn't help but be vigilant about Lin Yun's danger. At this moment, Lin Yun, who was sitting at the side, saw the doubt and killing intent in Sakura's eyes. He immediately stepped forward and explained, Overlord, this is my father's friend. He's from the divine sect. His name is Gu Si. Oh. Sakura didn't say anything after hearing Lin Yun's words. He knew the name Gu Si. He had heard Lin Rei mention it before. Oh, right. What are you doing here? The 9th continent has appeared, and it's very chaotic here. With regards to Sakura's question, Lin Yun had absolute trust in him, so he immediately spoke of his plan. 10 minutes later, oh, so you want to establish a sect here? The disciples of the Xuanzong sect should all be in the Cloud Pagoda right now, right? Hee, that's right. The Sovereign Venerable is indeed my father's clone. He knows everything about my father. You're right. When I advanced to the immortal Venerable realm, almost everyone in the sect had reached the immortal Sovereign realm, but they wanted to follow me. That's why they were unwilling to advance to the immortal Venerable realm. Oh. So. Sakura frowned when he heard Lin Yun's words. He really didn't want to hear this news. After all, the disciples were the foundation of the sect. He believed that if Lin Rei heard this, he would have the same thought. Sigh, forget it. I'll think of a way to make up for it when this overlord returns. Thinking of this, Sakura had nothing to do, so he said to Lin Yun, go ahead and get busy. Anyway, I have nothing to do, so I'll go with you. It just so happens that you have just arrived in the divine realm and you will need help to establish your sect. I can also take this opportunity to protect you. Lin Yun was pleasantly surprised by this news. At the same time, he found it hard to believe. He never expected Sakura to help him establish a sect. But since he said so, why would Lin Yun be polite? In that case, I'll have to thank you, Overlord. Speaking of this, Lin Yun's face was full of smiles, and then he told his detailed plan to Sakura. While they were thinking about how to establish a sect on the other side, they were going through a life and death battle. Halfway up the Ghost Realm's sacred mountain, a group of peak Emperor God-level demonic beasts were fighting with Lin Rei and the other two. You're all courting death. So many Emperor God-level demonic beasts have already died in my hands and you're still so fearless. Since that's the case, don't blame this overlord. Lin Rei was helpless as he looked at the demonic beasts in front of him. He had been in the sacred mountain for a long time. Basically, he would be attacked by a wave of Emperor God-level demonic beasts every once in a while. During this period, Lin Rei didn't feel tired at all. Instead, he became more excited as he killed. During this period, his cultivation base was also increasing crazily because of the battles. Martial God Stratagem. At this moment, the chaotic dragon spear was erected in the air. Martial God Stratagem was activated and the surrounding air began to compress rapidly. Hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of spear shadows appeared in an instant and rushed toward the demonic beasts. Martial God Stratagem was a large-scale attack spell. Hence, it was perfect for this kind of demonic beasts. Martial God Stratagem was activated and tens of thousands of spear shadows appeared above the demonic beasts in an instant. They started to fall from the sky like arrows. Bam! 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 The spear shadows fell rapidly like rivets at this moment and pinned the demonic beasts to the ground. Although it wasn't 100% successful, it was still 60% to 70% successful. Moreover, Martial God Stratagem had the ability to compress space. Hence, the moment Martial God activated his stratagem, all the demonic beasts within Lin Rei's attack range could only lie on the ground obediently and wait for death to come. It wasn't that they were willing to do so. It was because Martial God Stratagem had compressed space and they couldn't move at all. Hence, they could only watch as they were killed. The battle ended very quickly. Lin Rei alone had killed 2/3 of the demonic beasts. "Ha, kid, you're really something. You're so fierce alone. It seems that when you reach my level, I'll be beaten by you." At this time, Xia Feng, who had finished her battle, was covered in blood. In addition to her blood-red feathers, she looked very beautiful. We'll talk about it when the time comes. Anyway, it's still early. Let's talk about it when I've broken through to the ultimate god level. 15, who had also finished his battle, stood obediently behind Lin Rei while the two were talking. Looking at the scene of corpses and blood, Lin Rei was used to it after his trip to the sacred mountain. Chapter 595. In front of us is the place where my divine sense was blocked before. It's lucky that we passed it. If we can't pass it, then, hearing the words of the demonic phoenix, Linley frowned, a nervous look on his face. If what the demonic phoenix said was true, then it would be really troublesome. However, how would he know if he didn't try? Moreover, Lin Rei had a premonition at this moment. He could go up. Alright, since that's the case, let's go up and take a look. No matter what, I'm going up the sacred mountain today. No one can stop me, not even the 3 great ghost kings. At this moment, Lin Rei's words were filled with fierce murderous intent. Xia Feng and 15 nodded in agreement. Looking at the mountain of corpses and the sea of blood on the ground, Lin Rei didn't stay any longer. He immediately led Xia Feng up the mountain. Lin Rei was very close to the place where Xia Feng's divine sense was blocked. After walking for a few minutes, the group arrived at the place where the divine sense was blocked. "Boy, stop. The place in front of us is blocking my divine sense." Lin Rei, who was walking forward, frowned when he heard Xia Feng's words. He stopped and looked ahead awkwardly. "Young master, why don't I go ahead and see if the barrier that Xia Feng mentioned is useful for me? If there's no danger, why don't you go ahead?" Seeing 15 stand up and say this to him, Lin Rei frowned even more. He didn't know if there was any danger ahead. Moreover, Xia Feng said that even he wasn't confident. 15 was only in the monarch god realm. If something really happened to him, what would he do? Lin Rei was very hesitant about this. He didn't want 15 to take this risk, but at the same time, he wanted to know if there was any danger ahead. Lin Rei was in a dilemma. As the saying goes, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Now, Lin Rei's situation was the textbook of this saying. 15, who was standing in front of Lin Rei, saw that Lin Rei hadn't said anything for a long time. He raised his head and saw that Lin Rei had a conflicted look in his eyes. 15 was very grateful for this. Alas. Looking at Lin Rei's appearance, 15 sighed. Without waiting for Lin Rei's response, he turned around and rushed towards the barrier. 15, Lin Rei, who was silent and conflicted, felt 15's aura become restless. He immediately looked up and saw 15 rushing towards the barrier. Immediately, Lin Rei wanted to stop him and screamed. However, it was clearly too late. 15 was very fast, and it was too late to stop him now. As for the demonic phoenix, who had been watching this all this time, she was extremely curious about Linley. However, she didn't say it out loud. At this moment, it would undoubtedly be courting death. At this moment, Lin Ray's eyes were fixed on 15's figure in front of him. His eyes were filled with worry, and his hands were clenched tightly together. Alas! Linley couldn't help but sigh, a look of disappointment appearing on his face. He didn't expect 15 to be so stubborn and determined to do all this for him. Just as Lin Ray couldn't stand it anymore and closed his eyes, Xia Feng, who was standing beside him, exclaimed softly. Then, Lin Ray, who had closed his eyes, opened his eyes again and looked ahead. At that moment, 15 was standing in the distance, completely unscathed. Furthermore, he was smiling and waving at them. How is this possible? Clearly, at this moment, Xia Feng was dumbfounded. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. She couldn't believe that the force that blocked her just now had disappeared. Ha! Ha ha ha! At this moment, he didn't pay attention to the evil phoenix. After seeing that 15 was fine, Linley, who was on tenterhooks, laughed out loud. When no one was paying attention, tears flowed down from the corners of his eyes. Lin Ray, who felt the tears, quickly wiped them away when no one was looking, and quickly recovered his emotions. Let's go. As long as you're fine, as long as you're fine. Seeing that 15 was safe and sound, Lin Ray said to Xia Feng, who was beside him. Then, he activated the dragon subduing step. Instantly, 5 azure dragons appeared under Lin Ray's feet and rushed toward 15. They were so fast that Xia Feng didn't notice that Lin Ray had disappeared from her side. Looking at the happy Lin Ray, Xia Feng shook her head helplessly. Then, she spread her wings and followed Lin Ray. After returning to 15 years ago, Lin Ray, who had landed, the smile on his face disappeared instantly and was replaced by a look of displeasure. I know I was wrong, young master. 15, who had been observing Lin Ray's emotions, quickly bowed and apologized after seeing Lin Ray's current expression. At this moment, Xia Feng also came to Lin Ray's side. Seeing Lin Ray in 15's situation, as an old thing who had lived for hundreds of millions of years, how could she not see Lin Ray's current state of mind? She didn't step forward and just watched Lin Ray and 15 quietly. You're wrong. You still know? I didn't ask you to go and you went. It seems that my words really don't work. Hearing this, 15 knelt on the ground with a plop and looked at Lin Ray with a look of apology. He had already said that there was no need for 15 to kneel. But now, seeing 15 kneel, the anger in Linley's heart burned even stronger. However, when he thought of what 15 had done just now, he immediately suppressed the anger that rose in his heart. Get up. He looked at 15. The anger on his face disappeared and was replaced by a helpless look. He stepped forward and helped 15 up. Yes. 15, who was helped up by Lin Ray, still lowered his head as if he had made a mistake. Looking at this, Lin Ray was really helpless. Then, he said, today's matter is your fault. You didn't even know if there was danger ahead and you went ahead. As my bodyguard, if you die, who can I find to reason with? What? Looking at 15's stunned expression, Lin Ray didn't want to say anything more. Then, he instructed him, let's forget about this matter. But you have to remember that I have the final say in your life. So, before I die, you can't die, of course, although the words were a little harsh. After 15 heard Lin Ray's words, his eyes were filled with gratitude and his heart was filled with warmth. You guys. Sometimes, I really don't know if you're master and servant or brother and family. Seeing that Xia Feng was fine, he stepped forward and teased the two of them. We're comrades in arms and brothers. Although we're not family, we're not family. Young master. Hearing Lin Ray's words, 15 was completely shocked and affected. Although he had heard this sentence before, he had never taken it seriously. But now, he took it seriously. Okay, there's no need to say any more. Let's go. Lin Rei, who couldn't stand 15's grateful eyes, quickly interrupted everyone's thoughts and rushed forward. Now that they were halfway up the mountain, Lin Rei was determined to get to the top. He wanted to get there as soon as possible. Haha. Let's go. Your master is really a weirdo, but he's a good person. Although he's decisive and always has a cold face, he's very good to the people around him. You're lucky to be with him. Seeing Lin Rei leave, Xia Feng said to 15. Then, she spread her wings and chased after Lin Rei. Yes, I think so too. He agreed with what Xia Feng said just now. So, at this moment, he swore that he would never let Lin Rei encounter a desperate situation in the future. Even if he died, he would die in front of Lin Rei. Whoosh, 15 didn't stay any longer. He turned into a stream of light and rushed to the top of the mountain. Previously, because of the monsters on the way, he must have wasted a lot of time. So, in the following journey, because the spiritual energy in his body was consumed, he didn't stop cultivating. He used pills to replenish his spiritual energy. Just like that, he kept moving forward. Although there were many setbacks on the way, to Xia Feng, who had the sage realm beside her, it was a piece of cake to solve them. Moreover, during this period, Lin Rei cultivated from the early God Emperor realm to the middle God Emperor realm. Lin Rei, who had broken through, had a headache about the difficulty of breaking through, but he had no choice. Who asked him to have so many spiritual roots in his body? There were pros and cons. Heaven was fair. Of course, this was in the eyes of others. But it was different for Lin Rei. After all, he had the system as his backing. 30 years later, time flew by like a white steed. It came and went in a hurry. There were no traces at all. In the blink of an eye, 30 years had passed. At the top of the sacred mountain, 2 people and a fiery red big bird finally reached the top of the mountain. At this moment, the 2 people and the big bird were full of smiles, especially one of the young men. At this moment, he was so excited that he was crying. Ha ha ha. I, Lin Rei, have finally reached the sacred mountain. Wait for me. Wait for your husband. Your husband will know where you are soon. Wait for me. The 2 people and the bird were none other than Lin Rei, 15, and Xia Feng. After so many years, he really didn't expect that climbing the sacred mountain would take so many years. Although Lin Rei was hesitant before, the moment he reached the top of the mountain, all the previous unhappiness disappeared at this moment. Congratulations, young master. You will be able to see a young lady soon. At this moment, 15, who was standing to the side, was very excited for Linley. Good. Hearing 15's words, Lin Rei was very happy, especially at this moment. He had never been so happy in so many years. Who dares to behave atrociously in my sacred mountain? Don't you know that this is the place where we, the 3 ghost kings, enter closed-door cultivation? Which tribe are you from? Tell me your names. Suddenly, just as Lin Rei was feeling excited, a sharp roar was heard. It came from afar. The voice was so loud that Lin Rei, who had become a middle god emperor, couldn't bear it and covered his ears. Emin? This sudden scene caused Linley's gaze to turn towards the source of the sound, his eyes blazing with desire. Chapter 596. 3 Great Ghost Kings. Lin Rei's eyes were filled with vigilance when he heard the powerful voice introducing himself. At this moment, his body automatically released the defense of a divine artifact. The Chaos Dragon Spear appeared in Lin Rei's hand the moment the voice sounded, and he gripped it tightly. As for the pain in his ears, he directly shut off his 4 senses when he felt the terrifying energy, leaving only his divine consciousness. Don't worry, leave the 3 great ghost kings to me. Hurry up and find the reincarnation mirror you need. At this moment, Xia Feng's voice directly transmitted to Lin Rei's mind. Hearing her words, Lin Rei turned around and nodded at her before retreating. According to rumors, the three great ghost kings had already entered the sage-to-be realm and were only a step away from the true saint realm. Xia Feng had been in the holy world for a long time. As for Xia Feng's specific level, he did not know. As a cultivator who had not even reached the godly venerable realm, he was not qualified to participate in this kind of battle between sage-to-be saints. He retreated to the side with 15 and released his divine consciousness to observe Xia Feng's movements. Although he could not see, Lin Rei's divine consciousness and mind power were very powerful for cultivating formations and refining pills. Therefore, he could still observe their battle with his divine consciousness. "Young master, why don't I go up and help?" When Linli heard the words coming from behind him, he turned around speechlessly and rolled his eyes at 15. "Are you stupid? The three great ghost kings are all sage-to-be and Xia Feng is at the sage realm. What about you? You're only at the peak of the godly monarch realm. Tell me, if you participate in the battle, I don't think I need to say more about the final result." 15 fell silent when he heard this. "Yes, they're all saints and I'm only a godly monarch realm." Looking at 15's sudden silence, Lin Rei frowned, thinking that he had said something wrong. He quickly explained, "I'm not, you're right, young master. I can't defeat them with my current strength. However, I'll break through the seal as soon as possible and return to my peak. Then, I'll begin to cultivate and break through the saint realm. I'll strive to have enough strength to protect you as soon as possible." Ugh, hearing 15's interruption, Lin Rei's body froze and a happy expression appeared on his face. Lin Rei was very supportive of 15's words. "Hee, good, good, good. As long as you're happy," Lin Rei said. On the other side, there were only Lin Rei's group of 3 on the top of the mountain. However, as Lin Rei spoke to 15, 3 handsome middle-aged men appeared before Xia Feng. However, even though the 3 middle-aged men were handsome, their faces were gloomy and the aura they exuded was filled with murderous intent. At that moment, they were glaring at Xia Feng as though they were going to kill her. "Humph. Are you the ones who came to disturb our cultivation? Do you know that you will have to pay a painful price for disturbing the cultivation of the 3 of us? Yes, how bold of you to tell us your tribe's name. Tell us what you're here for and perhaps we'll give you a chance to leave your corpses intact." Lin Rei, who was conversing with 15, released his consciousness the moment he heard these unfamiliar voices. He immediately scanned the 3 ghost kings. "Humph. Who dares to be so disrespectful to us?" After all, the 3 of them were ghost kings and each of them had the strength of a half-saint. The moment his consciousness scanned them, the 3 ghost kings questioned him. Ugh, looking at them with his divine sense, Linli took a step forward and asked the 3 ghost kings, "Hello, my name is Linli. Today, I came to the sacred mountain to disturb the ghost king's secluded cultivation. I hope you can forgive me. However, I really do have a request." At this moment, the 3 ghost kings stared at this middle-stage god-emperor cultivator. Seeing how he did not show any signs of fear, they immediately became interested in this person in front of them. "Say it. What do you want?" You're so easy to talk to." Hearing the 3 ghost kings' question, Lin Rei directly told them the purpose of his visit. "It's like this. This deity's wife and child were killed in the immortal world. But I heard that people who die in the immortal world will directly come to the ghost world of the god world and become ghost cultivators. So, I'm here today to borrow the reincarnation mirror to take a look. I wonder if, you want the reincarnation mirror? Unless we're dead, don't even think about it." Before they finished speaking, the 3 ghost kings heard Lin Rei say that he was here for the reincarnation mirror in their hands. The 3 ghost kings, who were originally full of curiosity, immediately became gloomy. They looked at Lin Rei and the others cautiously. "Why? Hearing the three ghost kings reject him so decisively, Lin Rei looked at them suspiciously. Why? Don't you know that the reincarnation mirror is a divine item in the ghost world? Opening it requires a huge price. And we don't know you. How can we give you such a sacred item? Looking at the determination in their eyes, Lin Rei knew that it was impossible to borrow the reincarnation mirror openly. The only way left was to do something that Lin Rei didn't like. Then, a voice transmission exploded in Xia Feng's mind. Let's fight. Fight until they hand over the reincarnation mirror. Of course, if they don't, just kill them. Xia Feng, who had been waiting for this moment for a long time, lifted her head and roared the moment she heard Lin Rei's words. Awu. Awu. At this moment, the aura of the sage realm was completely released. Of course, Xia Feng didn't release all of her strength because Xia Feng felt that this little bit of strength was enough to suppress them. What? How is this possible? Sage. Sage realm? No. No, it shouldn't be just a sage. I can feel that her spiritual energy was released through suppression. What? How? How? Who is this guy? Why does he have such a powerful existence by his side? At this moment, after the three ghost kings felt the cultivation released by Xia Feng, their eyes were filled with shock and fear. Their bodies couldn't help but tremble violently after sensing the aura of a sage. At this moment, they finally knew why a cultivator with a middle-stage god emperor dared to come here. How about it? Do you want me to do it, or do you want to take out the reincarnation mirror yourselves? Of course, I don't want you to take out the reincarnation mirror, because I can kill you directly if you do. You. After hearing Xia Feng's words, the three ghost kings, who were standing not far away, were full of anger, but there was a hint of helplessness in their eyes. Since that's the case, don't blame me. When the evil phoenix saw how hesitant the three people were, it didn't wait any longer. It spread its wings and flew into the sky. The instant it was in the air, it spread its wings and two fireballs shot out of its wings. It shot towards the three ghost kings with lightning speed. Xia Feng's attack was so sudden that the three ghost kings reacted the moment they felt a wave of heat coming towards them. Lin Rei, who had been observing with his divine sense, sighed in his heart. Facing such an attack, not to mention responding, it was already very lucky to not die under it. The moment the three ghost kings felt Xia Feng's attack, they stood side by side and operated their cultivation techniques at the same time. The cultivation of a half-sage was completely released at this moment. Under the urgent situation, the three of them hurriedly condensed a giant palm together to block in front of them. It could only be said that the timing was just right. The moment the giant palm appeared, Xia Feng's two fireballs arrived. Pang! A loud sound was heard. Kacha! 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 After a loud sound, it was accompanied by the sound of something breaking. The sound of breaking became louder and louder, and the two fireballs were still confronting the giant palm. How is this possible? At this moment, hearing the sound of breaking, the three ghost kings hurriedly looked at the giant palm they had condensed. They saw that the giant palm was full of cracks, and it looked like it was going to break at any time. Seeing that their attack couldn't even resist one move of the opponent, the three ghost kings were deeply shocked. Their eyes were full of shock and fear, but they didn't give up. Although they weren't a match for the opponent, they didn't give up transmitting energy to the giant palm to maintain its power. How dare the light of a grain of rice compete with the brilliance of the moon? Break for me. At this moment, Xia Feng, who was flying in the air, looked at the three ghost kings. They knew that their strength wasn't enough, but they were still resisting and wasting time. Suddenly, Xia Feng became angry. Then, two fireballs rushed out. The speed was so fast that the three ghost kings, who were still resisting the first move, couldn't dodge, let alone have the chance to escape. Pang! The moment the two fireballs collided with the giant palm, a kacha sound was heard. The giant palm didn't have the slightest resistance at this moment. It shattered directly, and turned into traces of energy and disappeared in the air. Pang! 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 3 muffled sounds were heard. After the 4 fireballs shattered the giant palm, they directly hit the 3 ghost kings. The 3 ghost kings, who were inferior in strength, were directly sent flying by the fireballs. The 3 ghost kings, who were sent flying in the air, flew backward in a parabola in the air. Plop! 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 Pft! 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 The moment the 3 ghost kings landed on the ground, they spat out mouthfuls of blood at the same time. Their faces turned pale. At this moment, Lin Ray and 15, who were watching from afar, were stunned. This battle was too fast. The 3 ghost kings were defeated in just 2 moves. Chapter 597. F***CK, Strength is Strength. You're really something. Looking at the 3 ghost kings who had lost their fighting strength, Lin Ray used his divine sense as his eyes and came to Xia Feng's side. He looked at the 3 ghost kings lying not far away with a smile on his face. Humph, humph. Humph. Seeing Lin Ray's smile, the 3 ghost kings snorted at him and turned their faces away. At this moment, they were very unwilling to see Lin Ray's smile, as well as Lin Ray and the others. Haha. Looking at them, Lin Ray walked towards them step by step. When Xia Feng saw Lin Ray's actions, she was afraid that something would happen to him and quickly followed him. Of course, 15 followed closely behind Lin Ray. Step by step, he came in front of the 3 ghost kings. Lin Ray said to them in a low voice, "I've said before that I'm just borrowing it to see where my wife and child are. I don't really want your things. Now, you don't have to borrow it. Just give it to me." At this moment, Lin Ray's attitude was very tough. It was completely different from his previous attitude. The 3 ghost kings regretted it. If they had known this would happen, they would have agreed. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. So it was too late for regrets. Linley, who had reached out to take it, saw the hesitant looks on their faces. His originally gloomy face grew even gloomier. It is your honor that I asked you for it. Do you really think that I don't have any other options? Just then, a thought suddenly flashed through his mind. Immediately, Linley retrieved a soul-controlling pill from his spatial ring, as well as the 2 remaining talismans of life and death. If he didn't subdue these 3 ready-made fighters in front of him, wouldn't that be a waste? He was most afraid of wasting. Moreover, his motto had always been that it was shameful to waste. You, what are you doing? I'm telling you, don't mess around. Hee hee. Seeing the fear in their eyes, Lin Ray enjoyed it very much. The thought of having 3 quasi-sage cultivators made him very excited. Don't worry. Since you don't want to take it out, I won't force you. I'll do it myself. After saying that, Lin Ray gestured to Xia Feng, who was next to him. After being with Lin Ray for a long time, Xia Feng understood what he meant. She immediately released her cultivation and fixed the 3 ghost kings on the ground, making them unable to move. Hee hee. Looking at Xia Feng's actions, Lin Ray smiled and nodded. Then, he squatted down in front of the 3 ghost kings. Tell me, why do you have to do this? How nice it was for you to give it to me. Now, you have to force me. Looking at them, Lin Ray didn't hesitate. He took out the mind-controlling pill and went to one of the ghost kings. He stretched out his hand and pried open the ghost king's chin. Hee hee. What are you doing? Swoosh. Just as the ghost king's eyes were filled with terror and he was about to speak, a black shadow suddenly shot out from Linley's hand. With a gulp, a black shadow directly entered his throat and finally into his stomach. The pill melted in his mouth, and the moment it entered his stomach, the pill dissolved and the medicinal effect spread throughout his body. You gave me, what did you give me? At this moment, Linley had already let go of the Ghost King's chin. The moment he let go of him, a roar of doubt came out of his mouth. It's nothing. It's just something that can make you obedient. Don't worry, it won't do you any harm. After speaking, Lin Rei retreated to one side and waited for the medicinal effect to spread. At this moment, he wasn't sure if this pill would work on a sage. Moreover, he had only used this pill on people with low cultivation. It was the first time he had used it on someone of such a high level. And 15, who had been standing beside him, knew what the pill was when he saw Lin Rei take it out. After all, he had helped him control people before. Boy, what are you holding? Hearing Xia Feng's words, Lin Rei turned to look at her in shock and whispered, "This is a type of pill that can control cultivators. It tastes very sweet. Do you want to eat it?" Damn you. Xia Feng, who had a curious look on her face, instantly took a few steps back after hearing the effects of this pill. She was very frightened. Damn, why does this boy have all these strange things on him? He even has this kind of pill. Seeing the look on Evil Phoenix's face, Linley chuckled. Don't worry. I won't use it on you. In addition, I don't know if this pill will be able to control him or not, so I'll have to wait a while and see how he reacts. With that, Lin Rei quickly turned his head and released his divine sense to observe the situation of the Ghost King who had swallowed the soul control pill. And out of curiosity, Xia Feng also looked up. In her previous life, people used spells to control people. It was her first time seeing this kind of pill control, so she was very curious. Of course, other than curiosity, there was also a small thought. That was, if this pill worked well, she would ask for a few to use. Time passed slowly. Lin Rei, who had been using his divine sense to observe the Ghost King, frowned. So much time had passed, but the Ghost King who had swallowed the soul control pill was still very clear at this moment. Lin Rei began to suspect that his pill had expired, or that he could not control such a powerful existence at all. Time passed again. Lin Rei and the others, who had been waiting, saw that it was useless and were about to give up. But at this moment, just as they were about to give up, the Ghost King who had swallowed the soul control pill started to have a confused look in his eyes. There's a chance. After noticing the Ghost King's abnormality at this moment, his heart immediately lit up with hope. He continued to observe. Although he was puzzled by the time that had passed, as long as he could control the Ghost King, he was relieved. The Ghost King's eyes became more and more confused until finally, he was completely lost. However, at the moment when he was lost, his eyes became clear at this moment. Haha. Seeing this, Lin Rei was certain that this Ghost King was already one of his people. What's going on? Is this a success or not? At this moment, Xia Feng, who had been observing this all this time, asked anxiously when she saw Lin Rei's smile. Haha. Sensing Xia Feng's excitement, Lin Rei smiled at her and said, "Yes, it's a success. You'll know when you let him go." Hearing this, a trace of hesitation flashed across Xia Feng's eyes. It was not that she did not want to, but with Lin Rei here, she was afraid that if it didn't work, it would be disastrous. It's fine, let him go. Sensing that Xia Feng had not moved, Lin Rei sensed Xia Feng's worry. He gave her a reassuring smile and repeated what he had said before. Sigh, okay. Seeing that Lin Rei was so confident, Xia Feng felt helpless. She had no choice but to follow Lin Rei's instructions and retract the cultivation that was suppressing the Ghost King. Whoosh! At this moment, the Ghost King lying on the ground felt his cultivation being suppressed disappear and instantly stood up from the ground. Sensing the Ghost King's actions, Xia Feng did not say anything and immediately walked in front of Lin Rei to protect him in case anything happened. Seeing Xia Feng's actions, Lin Rui felt a warmth in his heart. If this had happened when he first met her, Lin Rui believed that she would not have done this. With a plop, just as Xia Feng was nervous and worried that Lin Rui would be in danger, the Ghost King, who had stood up, walked to Lin Rui's side and knelt down, kowtowing to Lin Rui. "I, Ghostly, one of the 3 Ghost Kings, greet Master." As soon as this scene appeared, the 2 Ghost Kings next to him froze in place. As for Evil Phoenix, who had been afraid that Linley would be in danger, she also froze in place. Seeing their stunned expressions, Lin Rui said to the kneeling Ghostly, "Get up." "Yes, Master." Hearing Linley's order, Ghostly immediately stood up from the ground and went behind Linley. He stood there obediently, not moving at all. When he looked at Linley, his eyes were filled with respect. Seeing such an obedient Ghostly, Xia Feng was shocked. At this moment, her desire for the soul-controlling pill was even stronger. Seeing that the first Ghost King had succeeded, Lin Rui did not think much and walked to the other 2 Ghost Kings. You, what do you want?" "Yes, the reincarnation mirror." "I'll give you the reincarnation mirror. I'll give you everything. As long as you don't make me become like him, I beg you." At this moment, the 2 Ghost Kings were scared out of their wits. They did not expect this middle god emperor brat to have such a terrifying item. At this moment, they deeply experienced the feeling of regret. Haha. Seeing them begging for mercy, Lin Rui ignored them and took out a life and death talisman. In an instant, Lin Rui quickly formed hand seals. His hand speed became faster and faster. At this moment, Xia Feng was even more shocked. At the beginning, she could still keep up with Lin Rui's speed, but as Lin Rui's hand speed became faster and faster, even she, who was in the Saint realm, could not see clearly. Life and death talisman. Life and death, I decide. In an instant, Lin Rui's hand touched the forehead of one of the Ghost Kings. Immediately, an indistinct array flashed. Life and death talisman, complete. Seeing that the life and death talisman was successfully implanted, Lin Rui took a few deep breaths and then stared nervously at the Ghost King. He nodded to Xia Feng. Understanding the meaning, Xia Feng immediately withdrew the suppressive force from the Ghost King. After what happened just now, she was relieved. With a Piyu Tong, the suppressive force disappeared. Like the previous Ghost King, the Ghost King knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Rui. "I, one of the 3 Ghost Kings, Gue Hun, greet Master." Chapter 598. Alright, get up. Seeing the success of his first attempt and the success of his second attempt, Linley began his third attempt. This time, he was much faster than the first attempt. After all, with the experience of the first attempt, he didn't feel as unfamiliar as the first time. Plop. The third Ghost King was subdued by Lin Rui using the talisman of life and death. "I, Ghost Reign of the Ghost Realm, greet Master." Haha. Seeing the 3 Ghost Kings chatting, a happy smile appeared on Linley's face. With them by his side, even if Evil Phoenix left, he would have the ability to roam the deity realm freely. "All right. Get up, Ghost Reign." "Yes, Master." Looking at the 3 of them, Linley was no longer as courteous as before. He stretched out his hand and said, "Hand over the mirror of samsara." This time, the 3 Ghost Kings didn't hesitate. After hearing Linley's order, one of the Ghost Kings stretched out his hand. A very simple mirror with a bronze mirror in the middle and runes that Linley couldn't understand instantly appeared in the Ghost King's hand. "Master, this is the reincarnation mirror. Goddess Hoodoo left it behind. She said that you can see the past, present, and future." Staring at the mirror in front of him, Linley instantly began to cry tears of joy, and his eyes began to moisten. I've finally done it. I can finally save you. Wait for me, Linley, who was roaring excitedly in his heart, hurriedly took over the reincarnation mirror and gently stroked the mirror where he could find his wife and child. Reincarnation mirror, reincarnation mirror. As long as you help me find my wife and child, I will definitely treat you well. Huh, aren't you disgusting? You told a mirror to treat it well. Why? Do you want to have sex with it? Ugh, right at this moment, just as Linley was in the midst of his excitement, the system's voice rang out. Instantly, Linley froze on the spot. Give it to me. I'll help you figure out how to activate it. I'll inform you when I'm done with my analysis. Hearing this, the stunned Lin Ray nodded excitedly. Okay, take it. But you have to be quick, Seeing Lin Ray stuttering, the system chuckled and said, all right, I know you're anxious to see your wife, so don't worry. I'll do my best, but you have to know that this is something from the desolate age. It might be a little troublesome to crack it, so you have to be patient. Hearing the system's words, Lin Ray nodded and agreed, don't worry, since the reincarnation mirror is already in my hands, why can't I wait? As long as I can find my wife and child, I can wait as long as it takes. Looking at Lin Ray, the system nodded and then disappeared. As for the reincarnation mirror, it also disappeared when the system disappeared. Brat? Kid? Just as Chen Dan was in a daze talking to the system, Xia Feng's voice sounded. Just as Lin Ray finished talking to the system and heard Xia Feng's call, Lin Ray quickly withdrew from his consciousness and returned to reality. Kid? Are you okay? Kid? After returning to reality, Lin Ray heard Xia Feng's call. Then, Lin Ray responded, what's wrong? Why are you looking for me? Lin Ray didn't understand Xia Feng's words. He didn't know what Xia Feng wanted at this moment. You scared me to death. Xia Feng, who had been calling for Lin Ray, heard Lin Ray's reply and revealed a relaxed smile. What's wrong? Why are you looking for me? Looking at Xia Feng, Lin Ray asked gently. Do you still have the soul domination pill? I want. Hee, you know. Lin Ray released his divine sense and felt a little better. Xia Feng's cheeky appearance at this moment stunned him for a moment. He thought about how he used the soul domination pill to control people just now. Suddenly, Lin Ray knew what Xia Feng was thinking. Oh, it's not impossible for you to want the soul domination pill, but what good things do you have to give me? Lin Ray's words stunned Xia Feng for a moment. She didn't expect Lin Ray's words at this time. However, since Lin Ray said so, she wouldn't be stingy. After all, the two of them had a transactional relationship. After coming back to her senses, Xia Feng began to ponder in her mind. What should she give him? Just as Xia Feng was searching her memory, the name of a cultivation technique suddenly appeared at this moment. Tisk, looking at that cultivation technique, Xia Feng hesitated. Sigh, should I use this cultivation technique to exchange for it? Phoenix Dance of the Nine Heavens. After pondering for a while, Xia Feng thought about the effects of the soul domination pill. Then, her eyes became determined. She stopped thinking about it and looked at Lin Ray. Then, she said to him, Kid, consider yourself lucky. As she said that, a red beam of light rushed out from Xia Feng's mouth. Then, it rushed towards Lin Ray's forehead. When Lin Ray felt a wave of energy rushing towards him, Lin Ray instinctively wanted to block it. Don't move, this is for you. Suddenly, just as he was about to block it, Xia Feng's voice sounded at this moment. Okay. Lin Ray could still trust Xia Feng. Then, he gave up on blocking it and allowed the energy to rush into his heart. Boom! The moment the energy entered his forehead, it exploded. A wave of memories that didn't belong to him appeared. This is the origin cultivation technique of the Phoenix tribe, Nine Heavens Dance of the Phoenix. Its power shouldn't be underestimated. You have an extraordinary flame. I believe that your cultivation will definitely be smooth sailing. While Lin Rei was searching for memories that didn't belong to him, Xia Feng's voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Lin Rei was shocked. The origin cultivation technique of the Phoenix tribe. Just this point alone was worth it to exchange for his soul domination pill. Great. Seeing that she took out such a powerful item, Lin Rei was not inferior to her. Lin Li naturally wasn't that far off. Furthermore, even if she didn't give him anything, Lin Li was planning to give her the soul-controlling pill. Here, there are 500 soul domination pills. You have seen its function. I believe you know it. As he spoke, a storage ring was directly placed in front of Xia Feng. Compared to 500 soul domination pills, Lin Rei valued the 9 heavens dance of the Phoenix more. Hiss, at this moment, after hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng suddenly sucked in a breath of cold air. Her face was filled with shock. 500. Looking at the storage ring with 500 soul domination pills in front of her, Xia Feng opened her mouth excitedly. With a gentle suck, the storage ring was directly sucked into her mouth. Hee, kid, you're not bad. After I've helped you complete your 3 wishes, I'll be leaving. As for my son, you can keep him. Although his strength isn't enough now and he still needs you to nurture him, when he grows up, he will definitely be a great assistant to you. Okay. After hearing Xia Feng's words, Lin Rei nodded and fell silent. Regarding Xia Feng's departure, Lin Rei actually didn't agree. After all, she was alone. He didn't want to see Xia Feng throw an egg against a rock and die for nothing. After all, it was no longer the Desolation era and she had been imprisoned for so many years. At this moment, she didn't even know how the heavenly court had developed. If she acted rashly, the end result would be obvious. Can I not go? This sudden sentence stunned Xia Feng on the spot. She looked at Lin Rei with a strange gaze. I know you want to enter the saints' world and take revenge on the Celestial Emperor, but have you thought about how strong the heavenly court is now? Do you know how strong the Celestial Emperor is? Also, there are Dao ancestors above the Celestial Emperor. Do you think you're stronger than a Dao ancestor? She was a little surprised by Lin Rei's words. However, the determination in Xia Feng's eyes didn't change. Looking at Lin Li, Demonic Phoenix laughed. I know you are worried. Although I don't know how strong they are, I will definitely kill them. So, there's no need for you to try and persuade me otherwise. Sigh. Seeing how determined Xia Feng was, Lin Rei didn't say anything. Everyone had their own fate. Since this was her own decision, it wasn't appropriate for him to say anything. All right. Since you want to go, don't be rash when you reach the holy world. Cultivate your own force first. Once your force is established and you feel that you can resist the heavenly court, then you can act. Or, wait for me. When I reach the holy world, we will discuss it again. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Lin Rei, who was talking, suddenly heard Xia Feng's voice. Immediately, Lin Rei released his divine sense and looked at her. All right. You are really long-winded. If I didn't know you, I would really think that you are a very kind and silly boy who worries about others all the time. Hearing this, Lin Rei fell silent and didn't say anything. Since she had said this, there was no point in saying anything more. The scene fell silent. The 3 ghost kings stood behind him. After Lin Rei and Xia Feng finished their conversation, he sat on the ground and began to study the phoenix dances in the 9th heaven in his mind. Seeing Lin Rei cultivate, Xia Feng and 15 also began to cultivate. Time passed slowly. Lin Rei, who didn't receive the system notification, continued to cultivate. After an unknown period of time, Lin Rei began to wake up when he didn't have any progress in his cultivation. Tisk, why haven't I made any progress after cultivating for such a long time? thinking that he hadn't made any progress after cultivating for so many years. Suddenly, Lin Rei panicked and his eyes were filled with doubt. In the past, as long as he cultivated, there would be signs of his cultivation increasing. Although it was very slow, it was still in a state of growth. But now, after cultivating for such a long time, there was no growth at all. Kid, come to the system when you wake up. Just when Lin Rei was frustrated that his cultivation wasn't increasing, the system's voice sounded. Alright, wait for me. He didn't know how long he had waited for this voice. Now that it appeared, how could he not be excited? Then, ignoring the people around him, he entered the system with a thought. Chapter 599. You're here. Yes. Lin Rei couldn't calm down after hearing the system's words. He wanted to know about the reincarnation mirror. How is it, reincarnation mirror? Haha. The system chuckled and said, as expected, I've analyzed the reincarnation mirror. It's very simple to activate it. As long as you have the spiritual energy to activate it, it will operate on its own. It's that simple? It's that simple. Looking at the stunned Lin Rei, the system said in a normal tone. Alright, give it to me. After knowing how to activate the reincarnation mirror, Lin Rei didn't want to wait any longer. After waiting for so many years, he couldn't wait any longer. Of course, I'll give it to you. However, the reincarnation mirror is too powerful. So, after it's activated, as long as you ask what you want to ask, give it to me immediately. At this point, the system sounded very nervous. Without waiting for Lin Rei's response, the system continued, now that the 3 ghost kings have been subdued by you, if this reincarnation mirror is placed in the sacred mountain, I'm afraid that those with ulterior motives will come and snatch it. When that happens, it will be out of control. So, why not leave it with me? Listening to the system's righteous words, in the end, it still wanted the reincarnation mirror. In this regard, Lin Rei didn't decline. After all, he didn't need it. As long as he found his wife and children, the reincarnation mirror would be useless to him. Alright, do whatever you want. This thing is useless to me. I just want to use it to find my wife and children. As for the rest, you can do as you deem fit. Hearing this, the system responded with an okay. A moment ago, there was nothing in front of him. But in the next moment, the reincarnation mirror appeared and floated in the air. Go. Without responding to the system, Lin Rei directly exited the space and returned to the peak of the sacred mountain. After returning to reality, Lin Rei saw that the people around him hadn't woken up yet. Then, Lin Rei's body flashed and he arrived at a deserted place not far away. Phew. He let out a long sigh and tensed up. Wait for your husband. Your husband will come and save you now. With that, Lin Rei spread out his hand, and the reincarnation mirror instantly appeared and was placed in the air. Reincarnation mirror, oh reincarnation mirror. I hope you don't disappoint me. Otherwise, I'll definitely destroy you. At this moment, Linley was both nervous and afraid. He was nervous because he was about to see his wife and child. He was afraid because he was afraid that everything he had done would be for naught in the end and turn into nothingness. Moreover, he himself did not believe in this kind of thing. If it were not for the little dragon's certainty at that time, he would not have done this, let alone come to the world of spirits and souls. Perhaps it sensed Linley's desire to destroy it, but at this moment, the mirror of samsara began to tremble violently. Lin Rei did not have a chance to react to the reincarnation mirror's reaction. In an instant, Lin Rei took out all the spiritual stones in his storage ring. No matter if it was lower, middle, upper, or top grade, they were all moved by Lin Rei to the bottom of the reincarnation mirror. At this moment, the spiritual stones that Lin Rei took out were like towering mountains. However, the difference was that the spiritual stone mountain range was colorful and stood erect under the reincarnation mirror beautifully. If people from the world of gods or immortals saw this spiritual stone mountain range, they would definitely be shocked. One had to know that this spiritual stone mountain range alone was more than all the sects in the immortal world combined. It was the same even in the world of gods. Some of these spiritual stones were plundered by him when he slaughtered the Qianquan sect and the empire. However, most of them were obtained by his younger brother when he was the head of a trading company in the immortal world. Although Lin Rei was more or less heartbroken to take out all the spiritual stones, in order to save his wife and child, he would not hesitate to take out all the resources he had. The moment the spiritual stone mountain range appeared, the surrounding ghostly aura and cold aura were all blocked out by the spiritual energy. The rich spiritual energy filled the entire peak of the sacred mountain. The three ghost kings, 15, and Xia Feng who were in the midst of cultivation all stopped cultivating the moment they felt the immense spiritual energy. They stood up immediately. With doubts and deep feelings, they searched for the source of the spiritual energy. Kid, young master, master. When everyone came close to the source of the spiritual energy, Lin Rei's figure appeared in front of everyone. You guys are here. Sensing the aura of the people behind him, Lin Li didn't turn his head. He smiled at them and said, "Since you're here, protect me. Remember, at this time, you must be careful. Don't disturb the opening of the reincarnation mirror." Yes, don't worry." Swish swish swish. Upon hearing Lin Rei's instructions, everyone gathered around the reincarnation mirror. They looked solemn and released their cultivation to protect it. Looking at everyone, Lin Rei was grateful. Then, he turned serious and formed seals with both hands. Wang, at this moment, the reincarnation mirror that was activated by Lin Rei started to devour the spiritual stone mountain range below like a bottomless pit. SSS, although the people around him were protecting him, they could still sense what was going on at the moment. When they felt the devouring ability of the reincarnation mirror, everyone was shocked. I hope it will be as I wish. Ling, you must wait for me. At this moment, looking at the reincarnation mirror, Lin Rei could not help but pray. He hoped for success this time. Ao Wu, Emin. The sudden roar of a beast made Lin Rei frown. He did not expect that a demonic beast would come at this critical juncture. Ge. Nevertheless, what Lin Rei did not expect was that it wasn't just the roar of a beast. Following the roar, there were also many gloomy and ghostly cries. Feeling this, Lin Rei and the others became nervous and alert. This reverend is waiting here for his wife and children to revive. If you don't wish to die, then come at me. This reverend guarantees that you won't be able to return. Towards this, Lin Rei roared with the cultivation of a middle-stage god emperor. With the peak of the sacred mountain as the base, it spread out in all directions. He believed that all living beings within a radius of 500,000 kilometers could hear his voice. Thus, unless those who did not care about their lives came to make trouble, everyone in the ghost world would stop. Of course, the heavens did not fulfill one's wish. Some people generally like to do the opposite. They chose to ignore Lin Rei's words. At this moment, 300,000 kilometers away from the sacred mountain, a middle-aged man wearing a blood-red robe with red eyes and white skin was full of killing intent. If other people in the ghost world were here, they would know that this person was one of the few ghost kings in the ghost world other than the three great ghost kings, Hua Wu. Hua Wu was one of the strongest existences in the ghost world other than the three great ghost kings. Lin Rei did not know that the moment he opened the reincarnation mirror, the entire ghost world shook because of it. After all, the reincarnation mirror was left behind by Ho Tu, one of the 12 ancestral shamans in the Great Desolate Era when he created the ghost world. After so many years of subtle influence, the reincarnation mirror had long become one with the ghost world. Thus, the moment the reincarnation mirror was opened, the entire ghost world shook because of it. Of course, part of the forces in the ghost world rebelled because of the spiritual energy emitted from the peak of the sacred mountain, which was caused by the spiritual stone mountain. At this moment, Hua Wu looked in the direction of the sacred mountain. He could not help but sneer. After waiting for so many years, it's finally here. Ghostly, you have been in that position for too long. It's time for a change. With that, Hua Wu turned into a black gas and rushed towards the sacred mountain. His speed was so fast that he reached 10,000 meters in an instant. At this moment, the demonic beasts from the foot of the sacred mountain had been killed by Lin Rei and the others. Thus, those demonic beasts and the ghost soldiers of the ghost world were crazily rushing towards the peak of the sacred mountain as fast as they could. Young master, what should we do? At this moment, everyone on the peak of the sacred mountain felt all the strange movements around them. 15 hurriedly turned around and asked Lin Rei for advice with a serious expression. Lin Rei heard 15's words. At the same time, he also felt the commotion around them. What should we do? I've said before that I'll kill anyone who stands in my way. No matter who it is, as long as they dare to stop me from saving my wife and children, they should all be killed. Hearing this, 15 nodded and said to Evil Phoenix, let's go. The young master said that no matter who it is, if anyone dares to come forward, we will kill them. Got it. Hearing Lin Rei's words from 15, Xia Feng nodded. The murderous intent in her eyes shot out instantly. She spread her wings and flew down the mountain. Haha. Seeing Xia Feng's actions, 15 did not hesitate and released his cultivation to follow her. As for the 3 ghost kings, they followed Xia Feng down the mountain. At this moment, only Lin Rei and the mirror of reincarnation that was absorbing spirit energy were left on the mountain. Sigh. I've told you before that it's very dangerous to activate the mirror of reincarnation. This mirror of reincarnation belongs to the world of spirits and souls. Are you doing this? At this moment, Lin Rei, who was filled with murderous intent, said. Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei interrupted it rudely. All right, I know. However, I want to find my wife and children. If there's anyone who stands in my way, I'll kill them. Anyone who stands in my way, I'll kill them. Sigh. At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, which were filled with murderous intent, the system sighed and retreated. Sensing that the system had retreated, Lin Rei did not make a sound. Then, he waited quietly in front of the mirror of reincarnation. His divine sense blocked every move of the mirror of reincarnation. Wait for me. I'll know where you are soon. Wait for me. At this moment, the mountaintop was silent. At this moment, the largest battle in the history of the world of spirits and souls had completely broken out on the mountainside. At this moment, it was not just the demonic beasts. Even the ghost soldiers of the world of spirits and souls seemed to be charging towards the mountaintop. Their eyes were red as if something had affected their minds. Chapter 600. Xia Feng, 15, and the 3 ghost kings did not hold back at all. Except for 15, who was a late-stage monarch god, the others were all sages and half-sages. With such a team, who else in the ghost world could be their match? Everyone, don't hold back. If we don't stop them and let them go up, we will be in trouble if they destroy a young lady's resurrection. 15 reminded Xia Feng and the others worriedly when he saw more and more demonic beasts and ghost soldiers. Okay, I know. I didn't expect to encounter such a huge battle after so many years. Haha, but I like it. At that moment, the evil phoenix was like the god of death. It had an evil smile on its face. Then, it flapped its wings and instantly, hundreds and thousands of demonic beasts and ghost soldiers turned into ashes. Not only Xia Feng, but the 3 ghost kings were the same. After all, they had the strength of a half-sage. They could kill hundreds and thousands of people with a wave of their hands. 15 was relieved. A bunch of boors. At this moment, when 15 and the others were fighting with the demonic beasts and ghost soldiers, a wisp of black gas floated past them without being noticed. This wisp of black gas was none other than Hua Wu. Hua Wu sneered when he saw the battlefield. Then, he quickly rushed to the top of the mountain. At this moment, no one noticed Hua Wu's trace. Just like this, Hua Wu smoothly reached the top of the mountain. The moment he reached the top of the mountain, Hua Wu saw Lin Rei staring at a mirror. He sneered. And then, without anyone noticing, he floated towards Linli. However, what Hua Wu didn't know was that although Linli, who had been blinded, couldn't see, he hadn't retracted his divine sense. Thus, how could Linli not sense the sudden appearance of the black smoke? Sensing the black smoke coming at him, Linli's heart was filled with rage. It rushed into his mind. Linli, who had been relatively clear-headed, felt the killing intent emanating from the black smoke, and his heart was filled with killing intent. Whoosh! Seeing that the black gas was about to reach Linli, the Chaos Dragon Spear appeared without any warning. Then, Linli turned around and took 2 steps towards the black gas. The Chaos Dragon Spear in his hand pierced through the black gas and stabbed into the ground. It was so fast that the black gas didn't even have time to react before it was stabbed. Ah! The instant Linli's Chaos Dragon Spear pierced through the black gas, a miserable cry rang out. Following that, a person dressed in blood-red clothes appeared not too far away. At this moment, there was a hole in the man's chest where the spear had pierced through. Blood gushed out like a fountain. If the man hadn't dealt with it in time, Lin Rei wouldn't have needed to do anything. The man would have bled to death. I'm only teaching you a lesson this time. If you take another step forward, don't blame me for being impolite. At this moment, at such a critical moment, Lin Rei didn't want to be too far away from the reincarnation mirror. He didn't want anything to go wrong. Hee hee, ha ha ha. The moment Lin Rei said those words, Hua Wu laughed out loud. But Hua Wu was still clutching his chest because of the pain. Brat, you are merely a middle-stage god emperor. How dare you be so impudent in front of me? Do you know that I am the ghost king of the ghost world, Hua Wu? You, scram. Lin Rei didn't have the chance to deal with this long-winded person. He directly said the word scram, before turning around and continuing to block the reincarnation mirror with his divine sense. You, how dare you? At this moment, Hua Wu was infuriated. This was the first time he met such an arrogant person. How could he, who had always been in a high position, endure such humiliation? Die for this seat. Hua Wu, who was originally filled with killing intent, wanted to kill this person in front of him even more. Following that, a weapon similar to the Ame Piercer appeared. He charged towards Lin Rei with his powerful cultivation. His speed was as fast as lightning. In addition to Hua Wu's thunderous aura, anyone would be afraid of him. However, no matter how much he thought about it, what he didn't consider was that Linli himself was someone who feared nothing and did everything based on his heart. Why would he be afraid of him? Since you want to die, don't blame this seat. Seeing this person seeking death, Lin Rei didn't give him any chance. Even if the other party was a ghost king from the ghost world, Lin Rei didn't care. The 3 great ghost kings were his protectors, much less a mere ghost king. Using his divine sense to probe the incoming ghost king Hua Wu, Lin Rei raised the primal chaos dragon spear and activated the martial god stratagem. Emin? What is going on? Under the effect of the martial god stratagem, Hua Wu, who was flying towards Lin Rei, stopped at his original position. He couldn't move forward at all. At this moment, Hua Wu, who was stopped in midair by the martial god stratagem, looked at Lin Rei in shock and confusion. This seat said before that this seat has something important to do here. But you blind idiots just had to come and cause trouble. Since that's the case, then let's do it here. As he spoke, Linli took a step forward, and his body instantly disappeared from where he was. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Hua Wu. This time, Lin Rei didn't kill him directly. Instead, he put away the primal chaos dragon spear and punched an inch below Hua Wu's navel. Pung! It was the sound of something breaking. At this moment, it spread throughout the entire holy mountain. Ah! Shortly after, Wu Hua's hysterical screams echoed throughout the sacred mountain. You actually broke this Seat's Dan palace. You bastard, you. Feeling his Dan palace empty, Hua Wu's eyes turned red. In addition to his blood-red clothes, he looked like a beast. As for Hua Wu's scream, Lin Rei acted as if he didn't hear it. Then, he punched Hua Wu's face. Pung! 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 Ah! Ah! The next scene was the bloodiest one. Lin Rei punched Hua Wu's body with hatred and killing intent. For a cultivator whose physical body had reached the middle stage of the god realm, just one punch was enough to destroy a planet. Now, one punch after another landed on Hua Wu's body. It wasn't hard to imagine what kind of state Hua Wu was in. His internal organs were shattered, his bones were broken, and his chin was smashed by Lin Rei's punch. Now, Hua Wu couldn't even scream. After a series of chaotic punches, one of the Ghost Kings, Wu Hua, has already fainted. After all, he's a Ghost King. In the God realm, he's a hierarch. Lin Li doesn't believe that he'll die from a few punches. Looking at Hua Wu, who was beyond recognition, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with disdain. Carrying Hua Wu, Lin Rei came to the entrance of the holy mountain. Looking at the scene of war, Lin Rei's eyes were cold. Then, he looked at Hua Wu, who was in his hands. Humph, you should find a place to die. After saying that, Lin Rei looked down. Holding Hua Wu's hand, he threw him down. Instantly, Hua Wu turned into a ray of light and was thrown down from the holy mountain by Lin Rei. Wang! Wang! Just as Lin Li finished doing all this, the mirror of samsara floating above the spirit stone mountains behind him began to tremble violently. Whoosh! A beam of light shot up from the reincarnation mirror to the heavens. Quick, Lin Rei, ask the reincarnation mirror where your wife is. At this moment, the system's urgent voice sounded. Hearing this, Lin Rei didn't say a word. He stepped in front of the reincarnation mirror and asked excitedly. Reincarnation. Reincarnation mirror, can you tell me where my wife and child are? At this moment, the one who spoke was Lin Rei. His voice was choked with emotion. He wasn't crying, but he was so excited that he cried tears of joy. At this moment, it was as if he could see his wife come back to life and stand in front of him. Your wife? Suddenly, a loud and clear voice rang out, spreading to the surroundings. Every living being on the sacred mountain heard it. Yes. It's activated. It's activated. At this moment, when 15 and Xia Feng heard this voice, they knew that the reincarnation mirror was activated. That's right, I also want to know where my wife, Jean Ling, and son, Jean N are. Hearing Lin Rei's response, the reincarnation mirror began to fall silent. Countless images began to flash on the reincarnation mirror, as if it was reincarnating for thousands of generations. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was looking at the images on the reincarnation mirror, was very excited. This feeling of excitement and fear was at the same time. This feeling was something he had never experienced in his life. Even when he learned that his wife and child had died, he wasn't as excited and afraid as he was now. Time passed little by little. However, as time passed, Lin Rei's heart became more and more terrified. The excitement on his face gradually turned into gloominess and panic as time passed. Your wife and child. I can't find them. They're not in the ghost realm, the god realm, the immortal realm, or the human realm. They're not in the devil realm either. As for the holy realm, I've just checked. So, the conclusion is that they might be completely dead. Gotcha, boom, at this moment, Lin Rei's face was blank, and his hands were tightly clasped together. The instant he heard the mirror of samsara's words, Lin Li felt as though he had been struck by a bolt from the blue. His mind instantly went blank. Aside from the mirror of samsara's final words, that he was completely dead, there was nothing else in his mind. How can it be, how can it be, Ling, and the others? No. No, the little dragon said that my wife and child are not dead yet. No. No, you're lying to me. At this moment, the blank Lin Ray muttered to himself as if he had gone mad. The murderous aura on his body was completely released at this moment. It can't be like this, it can't be like this. I've worked so hard for so many years to revive my wife and child. It can't be, the little dragon said. I believe the little dragon. A roar, with a huge cultivation base, began to spread out. Chapter 601. His voice was full of anger, despair, helplessness, hatred, and many kinds of uncomfortable emotions. All of them were reflected in this hysterical roar. The voice was so loud that the demonic beasts, ghost soldiers, and 15 stopped what they were doing and looked up at the top of the mountain when they heard this roar. What's going on, young master? Young master, alas. Idiot, a dead man can't come back to life. This matter can only be seen through by him. 15, who felt despair from the roar at this moment, began to worry about him. Xia Feng, do you want to go? No, you won't be of any help if you go now. At this time, it's better to let him vent himself. Moreover, at this time, it will only be more troublesome if you go. Remember, you are not as strong as that guy. If he goes crazy at this time, what will you do? Xia Feng, who seemed to know 15's intention, said to him helplessly. Alas. I know what you're talking about, but the young master. 15 knew what the evil phoenix was talking about, but he couldn't bear to let Linley face this alone. He wanted to face it together with him. He even thought that if the pain could be transferred, he would be able to do it. He would rather transfer all the pain to himself. However, he knew that this kind of thing could only be wishful thinking. At this moment, whether it was the foot of the mountain or the mountainside, it was very quiet, without any sound. Sorry, I didn't answer your question. Tell me one more condition. At this moment, the loud voice sounded again. At this moment, Lin Ray, who was kneeling on the ground in pain, heard this voice. With hatred in his heart, he turned around, locked all his divine senses on the reincarnation mirror, and roared at it coldly. Condition? Condition? Why can't you bring my wife and child back to life? Why has everything changed now? Why do you do this? Now my wife and child can't live. What condition do you want me to talk about? At this time, Lin Ray had gone crazy. If he were not blind, his eyes would be bloodshot at this moment. The reincarnation mirror, which had been roared at by Lin Ray, was silent at this moment. It didn't say a single word, and the pillar of light that reached the sky slowly began to withdraw at this moment. All right, since you don't have any conditions, then I look forward to being awakened by you again. The beam of light shrunk faster and faster until it finally disappeared completely. However, when the beam of light completely disappeared, the mysterious voice spoke again. But this time, Lin Ray didn't pay any attention to it. He stood blankly at the top of the holy mountain in silence. In his mind, there were memories of Jean Ling. At this moment, it was as if a movie was playing in his mind. Husband, I'll wait for your return. Husband. Waiting for you is my greatest happiness, I'm willing. Husband, I want to go home and see grandfather. I want to see our son. I miss you. His heart was bleeding. It was real. Lin Ray clearly remembered Jean Ling's words at this moment. 10 years of life and death were boundless. It was unforgettable. There was no place to talk to. Even if they met, they wouldn't know each other. Her face was covered with dust, and her hair was like frost. She suddenly returned to her hometown in a dream at night. She looked at each other without saying anything, only tears. It was expected that her intestines would be broken every year. Bright moon night, short pine ridge. Her hair is like frost every 10 years. Ling, what do you want me to do? Back then, I was afraid that you would be in danger if you followed me, so I often helped you in the sect. But who would have thought? I was wrong, I was so wrong. Back then, I was too eager for instant success. I only knew how to think about the sect. I didn't think about you and your mother. I was wrong, I was wrong. Tears flowed from his eyes, but the color was very different. At this moment, the color of the tears was purple. What was even more heartbreaking was that at this moment, Lin Rei's hair had turned white in an instant. The so-called white hair overnight was nothing more than this. However, at this moment, at the mountainside of the sacred mountain, the battle that had stopped because of Lin Rei's roar continued. However, at this moment, those demon beasts and ghost soldiers whose eyes were red had returned to normal. You people of the ghost realm, I am one of the 3 ghost kings of the ghost realm, Ghostly. If you retreat now, I will not pursue it. Otherwise, don't blame me for not giving you face. At this moment, seeing that the ghost soldiers' expressions had returned to normal, without the madness and redness from before, Ghostly quickly stepped forward and said in a commanding tone. Plop, plop, plop. Sure enough, Ghostly still had a lot of power in the ghost realm. When the ghost soldiers heard Ghostly's words, they revealed a look of fear. As for their bodies, when they heard Ghostly's voice, they had already involuntarily prostrated themselves on the ground. Ghost King Ghostly, we know our mistake. We will retreat now. Looking at the ghost soldier's current state, Ghostly revealed a smile. Although he had already eaten the soul-controlling pill, the soul-controlling pill could only control him and be used by him. It did not affect his other will. This was the wonder of the soul-controlling pill. At this moment, millions of ghost soldiers began to quickly leave under Ghostly's command. As for the remaining demon beasts, although they were demon beasts, they already had their own consciousness. This was the ghost realm, they had heard of the 3 ghost kings' reputation. Therefore, the moment they heard Ghostly's words, the leader of the demon beasts also had the intention to retreat. Xia Feng, who had been observing them, naturally saw the demon beast's intention to retreat. She did not want to kill anymore and stepped forward. At this moment, she released her divine beast aura. His tone was ice-cold as he said to the demonic beasts that had come to invade, "You all, I won't pursue the matter of you coming here today. You all should quickly leave. Otherwise, you can stay here forever and never return." Bam! Bam! At this moment, Xia Feng could be said to be in the limelight. The moment she released her divine beast aura, on the sacred mountain, as long as they were demon beasts, they were all suppressed to the ground. Yes, Honorable One. We did not want to invade this time. Therefore, once again, we thank Honorable One for not killing us. We will take our leave now. Hearing their words, Xia Feng smiled and nodded. As for the demon beasts, they had already begun to retreat down the mountain. However, as the saying goes, it is easy to come up but hard to go down. Since they were already here, how could they leave without paying a price? Ha 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 ha, at this moment, just as Xia Feng and the 3 ghost kings ordered the demon beasts to retreat, a sinister laugh came from the top of the sacred mountain. At the top of the sacred mountain, there was no one else other than Lin Rei. At this moment, when 15, Xia Feng, and the rest heard Lin Rei's laughter, instantly Xia Feng's expression changed, and she cautioned 15 and the 3 ghost kings, "Be careful. He must be very sad because his wife and son can't be resurrected. To prevent anything from happening to him, try not to get close to him later." What? At this moment, 15, who heard Xia Feng's words, asked with a puzzled expression. Don't ask. You will know in a while. 15 did not ask any more questions. Then, she looked up at the top of the mountain, her eyes full of concern. Ha 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 ha, at this moment, Lin Rei, who was standing on the top of the mountain, had an evil smile on his face. His hair was white, and his face was extremely pale. His entire body was wrapped in the illusory spirit blood fire, as if the god of fire had descended to the world. He was mighty and domineering. Ha! Today, my wife and son can't be resurrected, and you dare to invade this place. Do you think this is the end? Lin Rei's melodious voice came, and everyone on the sacred mountain, be it human, beast, or ghost soldiers, were stunned at this moment. As expected, in the face of such a double blow, even if you are a god, you still can't escape the fate of becoming a demon. Xie Feng had already noticed Lin Rei's signs of becoming a demon at this moment. What, becoming a demon? Indeed, impossible. How could the young master become a demon? No. I don't believe it. At this moment, 15 and Xie Feng were arguing. 15 was very sure that Lin Rei could not have become a demon, and it was impossible for Lin Rei to become a demon. Then let's wait and see. Let's see what will happen next. 15 ignored Xie Feng when she heard this. However, at this moment, 15's firm confidence began to waver when he thought of how important Jin Ling was to Lin Rei. Whoosh! Just as 15 was puzzled and everyone was stunned, a blood-colored flame rushed down from the sacred mountain. It was so fast that not a single blade of grass was left in its wake. What was even more shocking was that at this moment, even the rocks on the sacred mountain began to burn the moment they came into contact with the illusory spirit blood fire. The sudden appearance of this scene caused everyone to be stunned on the spot. They just stared blankly at the ball of flame that was descending at an extremely fast speed. This flame. This scene also fell into Xie Feng's eyes. Looking at the ball of flame, Xie Feng was already stunned. Even she, who had lived in the Eldritch world before, had never seen this kind of flame. Young master, at the side, 15 looked at the ball of flame and knew that the controller of this flame was his master, Lin Rei. All of you. Die for me. A single sentence, a sentence filled with cold killing intent, boundless fury, and hatred, instantly spread to all the living beings on the sacred mountain. Not good, retreat, retreat quickly. Rumble. 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 Looking at Lin Rei who was rushing at them with the illusory spirit blood fire, the ghost soldiers and demonic beasts were completely panicked at this moment. Especially the ghost soldiers. The moment the ball of flame appeared, their souls trembled and were frightened. In this regard, they knew that this kind of flame could kill them. Moreover, it was the kind of death that could not be resurrected. At this moment, they were all panicking. None of the ghost soldiers wanted to die. At this moment, the ghost soldiers and demonic beasts began to frantically flee down the mountain. Sigh. It seems that this group of ghost soldiers and demonic beasts are going to die here today. Chapter 602. At this moment, 15 completely believed Xie Feng's words, because he felt the murderous intent from his young master. It was so strong that it terrified everyone. Run, run as fast as you can. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was wrapped in the illusory spirit blood fire, looked at the demonic beasts and ghost soldiers fleeing down the mountain, and his heart was filled with hatred. Swoosh. Lin Li's speed had reached an extreme. Just a moment ago, he had passed by the demonic phoenixes and chased after the ghost soldiers and monster beasts that were fleeing down the mountain. Since I can't save you, I'll let this group of ignorant things die with you. I want to warn the world that those who touch my reverse scale will be killed without mercy. Thinking in his heart, he used his divine sense to observe them fleeing in front of him. At this moment, under everyone's gaze, his speed doubled once again. This guy is crazy. He can easily empty the spiritual chi in his body. At that time, he'll be in trouble. At this moment, Xie Feng, who had been observing Lin Rei, saw that Lin Rei's speed had increased by another level. Suddenly, her expression changed greatly, and she whispered in a low voice. What? 15, who was beside her, was shocked when he heard Xia Feng's words. Without waiting for others to react, he released his cultivation and instantly increased his speed to the extreme, chasing after Lin Rei. Young master. You must be okay. Please be okay. At this moment, 15, who was chasing after Lin Rei, prayed in his heart, and his face was full of worry. This guy, 15's action only lasted for a moment. He did not expect that he would let 15 leave in such a short time. Regarding this, Xia Feng's face was full of helplessness. Let's go. Protect your master. Don't let anything happen to him. Yes. 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 At this moment, the three ghost kings naturally would not listen to Xia Feng's order. However, they were naturally worried about Lin Rei's comfort. Then, they heard Xia Feng's words. The three of them immediately unleashed their cultivation and chased after him. It had to be said that a half-sage was a half-sage. Their speed was faster than a monarch god and emperor god. The three of them moved and caught up to Lin Rei in a short while. The three ghost kings who caught up to Lin Rei didn't stop him. Instead, they followed him and quietly guarded him. As for Xia Feng, she naturally came to 15's side and said in a helpless tone, "Hey, kid, can you not be so anxious? You're always like this. How old are you? Even if you're not tired, I'm tired." Looking at Xia Feng, 15 ignored her. As for what she said, 15 didn't respond. Immediately, he released his cultivation again and increased his speed. Just like that, a chase began. Die. At this moment, Lin Rei finally caught up with the ghost soldiers and demonic beasts. Looking at them, Lin Rei showed no mercy. Immediately, he brandished his Chaos Dragon Spear. Ow-woo. 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 At the same time, the moment the Chaos Dragon Spear appeared, 9 azure dragons appeared above Lin Rei's head. They seemed to have received Lin Rei's order. The moment the 9 azure dragons appeared, they charged towards the escaping demonic beasts and ghost soldiers. As for Lin Rei, the moment he caught up with them, the Chaos Dragon Spear in his hand moved rapidly. The Silent Thunder Spear Art, the Azura Spear Art, the Azura Sword Art, the Carefree Sword Mantra, in this moment, all sorts of battle techniques and spells, as long as they could kill, were being used by Lin Li. Especially when he reached the middle stage God Emperor realm, he could use these combat techniques more easily. Furthermore, the power had reached a level that made people speechless. At this moment, Lin Rei's bombardment would kill hundreds or thousands of demonic beasts and ghost soldiers with every move. Regarding this, the three ghost kings who were following by the side were completely shocked. Previously, they only had an understanding of Xia Feng's strength. But this time, they were able to clearly see their master's cultivation base and his own combat strength. Not only them. Even Xia Feng behind them was the same. This was the first time Lin Rei fought a real battle. Seeing such a crazy and emotionless killing, Xia Feng frowned at this moment. We can't let him continue killing like this. If this goes on, the karma will be more serious. This will have a huge drawback for him to break through to the Saint Realm in the future. Then what should we do? At this moment, 15 heard this and asked with a face full of worry. What should we do? I also want to know what to do. He is your young master. Don't you know his temper? Who can stop him now, unless... Seeing 15's concerned look, Xia Feng roared at him. However. Unless? Unless what? When 15 heard Xia Feng say, unless, he knew that Xia Feng must have a solution. Unless we use force. Only then can we calm him down. Ugh. 15 was taken aback. Then, he rolled his eyes and said, aren't you talking nonsense? But young master is in such a state. If you use force, he will be in a worse state when he wakes up. This won't work either. Xia Feng stepped aside speechlessly. There was nothing she could do. However, no one was resting at this moment. The sacred mountain behind them had begun to fill with bloody flames. The raging flames began to spread down the mountain. It was so fast that everywhere it passed, not even a blade of grass grew. However, even though everything that could burn on the mountain had been burned away, the illusory spirit blood fire did not seem to have any intention of stopping. At this moment, no one noticed this strange scene. At this moment, the killing on the battlefield was getting more and more intense. Azura hell was no longer enough to satisfy the current scene. Rivers of blood flowed, mountains of corpses and seas of blood flowed. At this moment, compared to this battlefield, it was simply dwarfed. Burn, burn, let the illusory spirit blood fire spread throughout the ghost realm. Ha ha ha. What? What? Right now, Linley's brazen words caused the demonic phoenix, 15, and the 3 ghost kings behind him to be stunned. Let the entire ghost realm burn? This wasn't a joke. If he really did that, would the thick earth let it go? Would the holy realm not intervene? Would the Tao ancestor not punish him? At this moment, Xia Feng finally realized that she was being too soft-hearted. Although she didn't think of herself as a good person, she didn't want to see the billions of people in the ghost realm and the territory of the ghost realm destroyed. If she really did that, not only would the thick earth and the holy realm not let Lin Rei go, but even the Tao ancestor and Tendo wouldn't let Lin Rei go. The great Tao wouldn't let him go either. Sigh, forget it, boy. For your own good, I'll offend you. Xia Feng didn't inform 15 when she decided to take action. She believed that 15 would support her decision. Swoosh. The demonic phoenix transformed into a streak of fiery light, instantly arriving by Linley's side. Without wasting any time, it immediately unleashed all of its power. Xia Feng was shocked by Lin Rei's means. She was even more afraid of the inexplicable flame on his body. Therefore, she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to stop Lin Rei without using all her cultivation. Yes, but in the end, Xia Feng was a saint while Lin Rei was a middle divine emperor. The gap between them couldn't be made up by external things. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had entered demonized mode, turned the Chaos Dragon Spear around and rushed towards Xia Feng after sensing a huge force. At this moment, the illusory spirit blood fire spread over the Chaos Dragon Spear. The power was several times stronger than before. Come on. For you, I have no choice but to do this. Looking at Lin Rei, who was rushing toward her, Xia Feng didn't hold back. Suddenly, the word suppress rushed out from her mouth. It was so fast that it was like a fleeting glimpse. With a boom, the word suppress appeared above Lin Rei's head. Lin Rei froze on the spot. As for the Chaos Dragon Spear in his hand and the illusory spirit blood fire on it, they fell to the ground the moment the word suppress appeared. The moment the illusory spirit blood fire on it left Lin Rei's hand, it dissipated. Ow-woo, 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 ow-woo. At this moment, the ghost soldiers and monsters who were running away turned around and didn't run away when they saw that the murderous demon was stopped. In their eyes, Xia Feng saw hatred and fear. You guys really don't know what's good for you. Now that the killer is suppressed, you guys are still thinking about revenge instead of escaping? Looking at them, Xia Feng knew what they were thinking. As expected. After being exposed by the evil phoenix, whether it was the Yao beasts or the ghost soldiers, all of them wailed and wept. Venerable One, it's not that we want revenge. Look at our companions who were killed. In less than half a day, hundreds of thousands of them have died. Tell me, with this kind of revenge, That's right. My monster beast clan has also lost hundreds of thousands of clansmen. Shut up. Hearing their words, Xia Feng said without holding back, be content. This time, you guys came to die. Also, you have to remember that I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for him. I don't want him to bear too much karma, so you should feel lucky. If not, I'll release him now and let him kill as he pleases. What? Hearing this, the leaders of the two clans immediately frowned and began to ponder. It was obvious that they were in a dilemma. When they thought about how many of their people were killed, they couldn't help but want to rush up and kill the imprisoned killer god. Looking at them, the evil phoenix didn't show them any mercy. It said with a cold and murderous tone, "I'll count to 3. If you don't leave by then, I'll kill you all. If you guys don't leave now, don't blame me for not showing mercy." Chapter 603. Venerable One, you, one. Before the two leaders could finish speaking, Xia Feng had already said one. Instantly, the two leaders became even more anxious. "Senior. You can't do this. We're dead." 2. Looking at them, the evil phoenix ignored them and unhurriedly said, "2. Senior, you." Looking at Xia Feng's determined look, the two leaders' eyes were filled with hesitation. They looked up at their dead clansmen, then looked at their clansmen who were still alive behind them. Finally, they made a choice in their hearts. 3. Senior, we'll leave now. We'll leave now. Don't count down. Hearing the evil phoenix count down to 3, he hurriedly agreed to the evil phoenix's request. You should have said so earlier. You made me waste so much time here. Really? Hearing their choice, Xia Feng smiled. But to be honest, if they didn't agree, Xia Feng wouldn't have done anything. After all, she had used all her cultivation to suppress Lin Rei. If she had to divert her attention to kill them, it would be a little difficult. After all, Lin Rei had gone crazy at this moment. The first time was fine, but if he broke free, it would be difficult to catch him again. Well, Venerable One, we'll take our leave first. Before leaving, the leaders of the two clans bowed to the evil phoenix and the 3 ghost kings. Then, they led their clansmen away. Sigh, the war is finally over. Seeing them leave, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. A sense of fatigue instantly spread throughout their bodies. Yes, that's right. At this moment, 15 walked over from afar. When he saw that Linli had been suppressed by the evil phoenix, a guilty look appeared in his eyes. Young master, we had no choice. I hope you won't be angry when you wake up. Looking at 15's behavior, Xia Feng was completely helpless. Alright, don't say any more. Even if you say it, he can't hear you now. F***ck, not good, the holy mountain is on fire. At that moment, Gue Li's scream was heard. Immediately, everyone looked towards the holy mountain and saw that there was a raging fire burning on the holy mountain. Even though there were no more trees or anything that could burn on the mountain, the blood-red flames were not extinguished and were still burning. Hee, looks like we can't stay here anymore. Let's go. This brat came here with the intention of finding his wife, but now his hopes have been dashed. There's no point in staying here. It's just that this kid has made such a ruckus, I'm afraid that the ghost realm will not welcome him in the future. Hearing this, 15 said, yes, young master came here to find a young lady in his young master. Now everything has become a dream. Instead of staying here and being sad, it's better to leave and return to the god realm. As for this place, if it's burned, then so be it. 15 agreed with Xia Feng. However, as they spoke, the 3 ghost kings hesitated. You. What's wrong? Sensing the hesitation of the 3 ghost kings, Xia Feng quickly asked. After all, they were Lin Rei's subordinates now. Hearing Xia Feng's words, Gue Li stepped forward and said sadly, Senior, there's something you don't know. We wanted to use the reincarnation mirror to enter the god realm. Moreover, in the entire ghost realm, other than the reincarnation mirror, there's only one way left to go through the river Styx. Isn't it fine as long as there's a way? Why do you have to? Seeing how Xia Feng spoke so casually, Guili smiled bitterly and explained. Sigh, if only it was that easy. There are some very powerful beings guarding the road to the river Styx. With our current strength, I'm afraid, that's not right. Young Master came from the road to the river Styx. Moreover, young Master has seen the big shot that you mentioned. What? Guili, who was talking to Xiafeng, was shocked when he heard 15's words. His eyes widened and he looked at 15 in disbelief. It's true. Young Master really came from the road to the river Styx. Although he encountered some dangers on the road to the river Styx, they've all been resolved. I believe that it shouldn't be a problem for him to leave through the road to the river Styx. Moreover, there's such a big Buddha beside him. No matter how strong the road to the river Styx is, can it be stronger than the Phoenix clan leader who survived from the untainted land? The three ghost kings, who had lost all hope, heard 15's words. The despair in their eyes disappeared at this moment and was replaced by hope. Alright, let's go. Isn't it just entering the God realm? Look at all of you frowning. Looking at them, Xiafeng said with a smile. Then, she put the suppressed Lin Ray on her back. As for the Chaos Dragon Spear, it was temporarily kept in the storage ring by 15. Let's go to the entrance of the road to the river Styx. Hearing this, the three ghost kings were excited. Entering the God realm had always been their greatest wish, and now it had really come true. Okay, I'll lead the way. The three of them were excited. They soared into the sky and headed toward the entrance of the road to the river Styx at an extremely fast speed. Looking at the three of them, Xiafeng smiled and glanced at 15. Then, the two of them looked at each other and flew up together, chasing after the three ghost kings. What they did not know was that because of Lin Ray, after that time, the fire on the Ghost Realm's sacred mountain had never subsided. It burned with a raging fire all year round. Whoosh, whoosh, in the sky, 5 streams of light instantly streaked across the sky like shooting stars. They were so fast that they could not be seen clearly. How far is it? It's not far. It's just ahead. We'll be there in a while. Hearing this, Xiafeng nodded and sped up. It seems that you're in a hurry. At this moment, 15, who was following beside Xiafeng, heard her words and immediately made fun of her. Nonsense. The one on my back is a ticking time bomb. It's not certain when it will explode. What do you think? Can I not be faster? With that, Xiafeng did not speak anymore and fell silent. Time passed quickly. It had been more than a month since they came out of the sacred mountain. In this month, the 5 of them did not dare to rest. They ran all the way because they were afraid that Lin Ray would suddenly explode and destroy the entire ghost realm. We're here. At this moment, Ghostly, who was in front of them, shouted in surprise. Then, his body was seen rushing toward the pile of rocks below. This is the road to the river Styx? Are you sure? Looking at such a desolate place, Xiafeng asked in a daze. Yes, this is it. Because it's the road to the river Styx, not a single blade of grass grows around here. Livestock also don't dare to come close. In response to Xiafeng's words, Ghostly came to the front of a cliff. In an instant, he flung out a stream of energy. The instant there was nothing on the cliff, a vortex appeared. Damn! Looking at this scene, Xiafeng cursed. Then, she revealed a surprised expression. Let's go, senior. This is the road to the river Styx. Once we enter, we will meet that mysterious existence. Hearing this, Xiafeng rolled her eyes at everyone. Then, she stepped into the vortex helplessly. Let's go. Follow closely. Seeing Xiafeng disappear into the vortex, 15 said to the 3 ghost monarchs and quickly followed. Let's go. We're finally out. At this moment, looking at the road leading to the divine realm in front of them, the 3 of them were very excited. Yes, let's go. Having said that, the three of them looked at each other and stepped into the vortex resolutely. The moment the three of them disappeared, the vortex on the cliff disappeared instantly as though it had never appeared. Woo woo woo, at this moment, at the vortex at the end of the road to the river Styx, a chilly wind blew. In addition to the broken limbs and bones floating on the river surface on both sides of the road, the scene was hair-raising and chilling. Phew, at this moment, a vortex that was exactly the same as the one that was triggered by Ghost Li's cultivation stood there. Suddenly, Xie Feng, who was covered in undying flames, walked out of the calm vortex. On her back was the suppressed Lin Ray. Phew. 15 and the three Ghost Kings followed closely behind. When they came out of the whirlpool and saw the scene before them, they froze on the spot. Wow, not bad. I've lived for so long and this is the first time I've seen such a place. Yeah, tisk. But compared to my blood sea, this place is still a far cry. Ugh, hearing 15's words, Xie Feng instantly looked at him with disdain. Both of you, let's not talk about it. Let's get out of here first and wait for a safe place before you continue. At this moment, the three ghost monarchs looked at 15 and Xie Feng in front of them. In order to not alarm the powerful figures here, Ghost Li hurriedly stepped forward to dissuade them. Humph. Hearing Ghost Li's words, 15 snorted coldly at Evil Phoenix. He didn't say anything else and fell silent. Alright, let's go. Looking at 15's expression, Xie Feng chuckled and then spread her wings and flew toward the exit. 15 and the rest followed behind. Just when they thought that their journey would be smooth, suddenly, after flying for a short while, the road to the underworld shook and the rivers on both sides of the road began to boil. Go back to where you came from. I don't want to do anything. Once the mysterious voice appeared, the surrounding sound of the great path was heard. When the three ghost monarchs heard this voice, their faces turned pale. Sigh. It seems like. They knew that the words, go back to where you came from, were referring to them. Instantly, they sighed in their hearts. Humph, stop pretending. I want to protect them. What are you going to do about it? Just after the mysterious voice appeared, Xie Feng spoke with disdain. Her tone was domineering and made the three ghost monarchs behind her extremely agitated. Hee, Phoenix clan, I didn't expect that after so many years, you still haven't been wiped out. Who are you? Hearing this, the evil Phoenix immediately became vigilant. It wasn't strange for her to know that she was from the Phoenix clan. After all, her main body was here. However, when she said that they weren't all dead yet, the evil Phoenix felt strange. Chapter 604. It doesn't matter who I am. As I said, go back to where you came from. Don't make me say more. The moment he said this, the evil Phoenix's expression became gloomy. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he looked around. I advise you not to. The untainted age is over. This is my place. Moreover, do you really think the Phoenix clan is very powerful? Back then, the Phoenix clan was exterminated. I didn't expect that there were still fish that escaped the net. At this moment, Xie Feng felt more and more uncomfortable. She had searched all the memories of this mysterious man in her mind. However, there was no information about this man. Xie Feng became even more vigilant. Xie Feng, ignore him. Hurry up. My young master can't wait any longer. While listening to the conversation between Xie Feng and the mysterious man, 15, who was standing aside, hurriedly stepped forward and said to her. Shura clan. How? How is it possible? Why is the Shura clan also? 15 was shocked when he heard the mysterious man's identity. He didn't expect that the mysterious man could tell that he was a member of the Shura clan at a glance. However, when he heard the mysterious man's identity, he was full of surprise. 15 was puzzled. Who are you? Since you know our identities, I'm very curious. What's your relationship with Ho2 that you can be here? Finally, the mysterious man fell silent. At this moment, sensing the fluctuation of a weak aura in the air, Xia Feng was puzzled. She knew about Ho2's day. She was transformed from the 12 drops of tainted blood left by Pangu when he created the world. However, when the 12 ancestors of sorcery appeared, she was already suppressed. Okay, you can go now. Remember, don't come back after you leave the road to the underworld. The mysterious man, who had been silent for a long time, spoke again. However, this time, to everyone's surprise, he asked them to leave. Hearing this, 15 was sure that the mysterious man must be related to Ho2, and also to the Shura clan. Thinking of this, 15 began to search for such a person in his mind. However, it was a pity that he didn't fully recover his memory, so he couldn't find him. However, since he could leave, he did not hesitate. He said to the 3 ghost kings behind him, "Let's go. After leaving the ghost realm, you can't come back." "Yes, we will remember it." At this moment, the 3 ghost kings felt their bodies relax. Seeing the results of the battle, they were shocked. They had heard of the people and races of the Great Desolate Era. Seeing that 15, who was only a late divine lord, was actually from the Azura race, the 3 ghost kings immediately changed their attitude and became respectful. "Hey, alright, let's go." Seeing the obvious changes in the 3 of them, 15 ignored them and turned to look at Xia Feng, who had a confused look on her face. 15 glared at her and said, "Let's go." "Do you want to stay here?" "Humph." Hearing 15's words, Xia Feng snorted coldly. Then, she spread her wings and rushed toward the exit of the road to the underworld. However, at this moment, Xia Feng's mind was tangled with the question of who this mysterious person was. Along the way, everyone was thinking about their own matters. For example, the 3 ghost kings were all wondering why each of these people's backgrounds was so shocking. As for 15, he was thinking about the same thing as Xia Feng. However, he thought more. After all, before he was sealed, Ho2 had already merged with the 6 paths of reincarnation to create the underworld and the ghost realm. Time passed by slowly. Soon, the group arrived at the exit of the road to the underworld. I didn't expect the god realm to have such a formation. At this moment, when they arrived at the exit, Xia Feng had already felt that this place was sealed by a powerful seal. Yes, the seal here is indeed very strong. However, I don't think it will be difficult for you. 15 naturally sensed the formation at the exit. As someone who had survived since the prehistoric times, he naturally knew about this formation. Therefore, after hearing Xia Feng's words, he went with the flow and threw the task of breaking the formation to her. Tisk, looking at 15, Xia Feng smiled proudly. Then, she said, "Of course, I can do it. But this is a formation to seal the road to the underworld. If I break it just like that, the consequences will be. What's the big deal? Just set up another formation. After all, you are a survivor from the prehistoric times and are also the leader of the Phoenix tribe. This should be a piece of cake for you." Ugh, looking at 15, even the dumbest person could understand the meaning behind his words, not to mention Xia Feng. "You're really something. How dare you use words to stop me?" "Yes, I'm using words to stop you. So what? If you can't do it, then forget it. Anyway, this will damage the reputation of the Phoenix tribe and not my blood seas. You." This sentence had blocked her path. If she didn't do it, it would only prove that there was no one in the Phoenix tribe and that they were incompetent. If she did it, then, thinking up to this point, the evil Phoenix could be said to be in a difficult position. He was in a difficult position. "Humph, little guy. You want to fight with me? Aren't you just one?" Looking at Xia Feng's dilemma, 15 felt very happy and comfortable. All his previous resentment disappeared at this moment. Time passed in Xia Feng's silence. As for the three ghost kings, they could only stand aside beside these two powerful beings who had survived since the prehistoric times. Ugh. Ah, suddenly, Lin Rei, who was on Xia Feng's back, let out a low growl and entered everyone's ears. Damn, it can't be. Hearing this voice, Xia Feng frowned and quickly sensed the formation that was suppressing Lin Rei. Hiss, suddenly, Xia Feng inhaled a mouthful of cold air. Her face was full of shock. When 15 saw Xia Feng's expression, he knew that there might be a problem with the formation. Sure enough, just as 15 thought of this, Xia Feng's words came. This guy is cracking the formation. Looking at his speed, it won't take long for him to break out of the formation. When that time comes, suppressing him will be, damn, then why are you still so long-winded? Hurry up and get out. Madam is outside. Maybe she can help young master get better. Seeing that Xia Feng was still not moving, 15 hurriedly said to her. You. Okay, I'll break. Although she was a little unhappy with the trap set by 15, when she thought of Lin Rei lying on her back and the unknown flame on his body, Xia Feng immediately agreed. Hee, that's right. Seeing that Xia Feng had agreed, 15 smiled happily. Then, he stood aside and made enough space for Xia Feng. As for the three ghost kings, they naturally followed 15 and stepped back. Seeing what 15 and the others did, Xia Feng snorted coldly. Instantly, she released her cultivation. A huge wind curse appeared instantly and bombarded the formation above them. Bam, rumble, the wind curse collided with the formation. Instantly, be it the yellow springs where the evil phoenix was, or the ancient race beings who were living above the formation, all of them began to tremble violently. What? What's going on? What's going on? What the evil phoenix didn't know was that because of her actions, everyone in the ancient clan was roused. Even those old monsters who were in seclusion all came out of their seclusion without hesitation when they felt the earthquake. What's going on? At this moment, an extremely beautiful woman walked out of her room. Her eyes were filled with doubt as she called out to one of the ancient race tribesmen. Ah, it's Miss Ying. When the ancient tribe member was stopped by Ying, he quickly smiled and bowed. Then, he replied, it's like this. I don't know what's going on, but just now, there was an earthquake. The elders in the tribe investigated and found out that someone was attacking the formation below, so, what? Someone is attacking the formation below? Then. Brother Lei. After hearing the ancient tribe member's words, Ying suddenly thought of her husband who had entered the ghost world and became excited. Looking at Ying's reaction, the ancient tribe member looked at his fellow tribesmen who were walking towards the center of the formation and said goodbye to Ying. Then, I'm sorry, Miss Ying. I have to go first. Without waiting for Ying's response, the ancient clan member dashed toward the center of the formation, leaving Ying alone with an excited expression on her face. Yes, it's definitely Brother Lei. Brother Lei is definitely back. At this moment, the more Ying thought about it, the more she felt that this matter had something to do with her husband, Lin Rei. Then, she transmitted a message to her male brother and the others. She could not wait any longer and walked towards the center of the formation. Brother Lei? Young master? At this moment, everyone who received Ying's message was jolted awake from their cultivation. Without saying a word, they broke through the door and rushed towards the center of the formation. Xia Feng did not know that because of her actions, the entire ancient tribe was in an uproar at this moment. You can't do it, Xia Feng. This formation is not like an ordinary formation. You have to use all your strength to attack it. Otherwise, it won't work. If you don't want to do anything, then don't force me. Be careful, I'll burn you with the undying flame. When that happens, I won't care if you're from the Azura tribe or not. Hearing this, 15's eyes revealed a trace of fear and he retreated to the side. Then, He closed his eyes and did not say a word. Humph. Looking at 15's actions, Xia Feng snorted coldly. Then, her cultivation base increased rapidly. At this moment, Xia Feng followed 15's instructions and raised her cultivation base to its peak. Then, 2 fireballs appeared in an instant. Break for me. The moment the fireballs appeared, Xia Feng roared and flapped her wings towards the fireballs. Whoosh! The fireball instantly disappeared in front of everyone, and rushed toward the array above their heads with great speed. Bam! Chapter 605. A loud sound rang in everyone's ears. At this moment, the ancient tribe members, Shadow, and the rest had already gathered in the center of the spell formation. However, what they didn't expect was that as soon as they arrived, they felt an extremely terrifying power that immediately fixed everyone on the spot, making them unable to move. However, what happened next left everyone dumbfounded. With a loud bang, the moment they were suppressed, the formation in the center suddenly exploded, and a huge crater appeared before everyone's eyes. Awoo! At this moment, the moment the huge pit appeared, a phoenix cry came from the deep pit. Whoosh! A fiery red figure rushed out of the huge pit and rushed into the air. When it reached a certain height, it stopped in the air and stood proudly, looking down. Whoosh! 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 Then, another 4 figures rushed out of the deep pit and came to the side of the fiery red figure in the air. How? How did this happen? At this moment, the current ancient tribe leader looked at the huge pit in front of him. He witnessed the destruction of the spell formation with his own eyes. His face turned pale. Of course, other than him, everyone else looked up at the people standing in the air. This is the realm of the gods. The spiritual energy is so thin. At this moment, the fiery red figure in the air felt the spiritual energy in the surroundings the moment it rushed out. It frowned and its face was filled with displeasure. Alright, this is not the real realm of the gods. This is a forbidden area of the realm of the gods, Death Canyon. You can only enter the realm of the gods after you leave this place. The person who spoke was none other than Xia Feng and the rest who broke out of the spell formation. At this moment, 15, who was standing at the side, heard Xia Feng's words and quickly explained to her. Oh. I was wondering. The realm of the gods is only one realm away from the holy world. It's impossible for the spiritual energy to be so thin. Alright, stop talking. Hurry up and seal this place. Otherwise, those dishonest fellows from the world of spirits and souls will come out. Looking at Xia Feng's hesitant look, 15 said to her directly. Alright, got it. After saying that, Xia Feng's body instantly disappeared. When she was seen again, she was already beside the huge pit on the ground. With the fire as the medium and the earth as the foundation, gather the spirits of the 4 directions and seal the heavens, form the formation. With a hua sound, Xia Feng came to the side of the deep pit and muttered 2 words. Suddenly, a fiery red energy rushed out and fell directly on top of the deep pit. At this moment, a miracle occurred. The moment the fiery red energy appeared above the deep pit, the originally huge pit began to slowly recover. And this scene had already ended before anyone could react, because all of this had happened in an instant. Hee, not bad. Your formation is stronger than the previous ones. I believe that even if you don't use a human to guard it, only a saint-level array master or a saint-level sage would be able to break it. At this moment, 15, who stood in the air and watched everything that Xia Feng did, disappeared into thin air. Then, he disappeared in the air. When he reappeared, he was next to the evil phoenix. He smiled and complimented it. Thank you for your help. I don't need you to tell me that. This formation was used to suppress the undying volcano, so it's a piece of cake for it to suppress a small world entrance. In response to 15's compliment, Xia Feng accepted it and explained the previous uses of this formation. Hee, you're really something. You actually used your trump card. 15 said and couldn't help but admire her. Alright, let's not talk about these useless things. Hurry up and take your young master down. This kid is really something. If this was in the prehistoric era, who would dare to do so? Who would have the right to do so? Hee. 15 chuckled and went up to Lin Rei's back. He tiptoed and removed Lin Rei from his back and placed him on the ground. Who are you? How dare you destroy the formation that my ancient race has been guarding for generations? At this moment, the ancient race leader returned to his senses and bellowed at Xia Feng and 15 with immense murderous intent. Ignoring him, they did not even look at the clan leader. The two of them merely looked at Linley, who was sitting on the ground, with concern. Since you're seeing that the two of them ignored him, the ancient race leader was infuriated and was about to attack them. However, just as he was about to attack, he saw Lin Rei, who was protected by 15. Little Rei? Little Rei? At this moment, Xia Feng, who didn't intend to care about the ancient race leader, frowned when she heard him calling out to Lin Rei so intimately. You, what did you do to Xiaolei? Speak. How dare you? At this moment, the leader of the Gu family saw that Linley was sitting on the ground without moving at all and had no reaction at all. Instantly, he had a bad premonition in his heart. Taking a step forward, he released his cultivation of the half-saint realm and was prepared to attack. How dare you? At this moment, Ghostly and the other two standing at the side sensed the aura of the ancient race leader. Then, he hurriedly stepped in front of Linley and unleashed his cultivation base. How? How is this possible? 3 sage-to-be realm cultivators? This. The ancient race leader, who was also a sage-to-be realm cultivator, could sense that the 3 of them were sage-to-be realm cultivators like him. However, what shocked him was that all 3 of them were sage-to-be realm cultivators and they attacked at the same time. Just like this, just as the battle was about to break out, 15, who had been silent all this while, spoke. Don't panic. I'm the shadow guard of the Xuanzong Sect. I'm the bodyguard of my young master, Lin Rei. I'm here today to look for a young lady. As soon as he said that, Ying, who was frozen in place by the evil phoenix's cultivation, became anxious. Oh. When the ancient race leader heard 15's words, he looked at the people who were brought here by Lin Rei. At this moment, he saw that they were agitated but couldn't move. He knew that what 15 said was true. Moreover, he had seen those mysterious people when Lin Rei was here. If that's the case, please release all my disciples. They're all frozen in place by you. 15 turned to look at Xia Feng. Understanding, Xia Feng nodded. In an instant, she retracted her cultivation that was suppressing everyone. Brother Lei. Young master, Brother Lei, master. At this moment, more than 20 people rushed over from afar. They were so fast that everyone was shocked. Even the clan leader of the Gu clan was shocked by this scene. He had already checked the strength of Ying and the others before they came. At that time, they were at most in the divine ancestor realm. However, it had only been a short period of time since then. Now, when he checked again, he found out their cultivation levels. Apart from each of them, the rest were all at the peak Emperor realm. It was as though they could break through to the immortal venerable realm at any time. Seeing this, the ancient race leader was puzzled. However, he wasn't the only one. Even Shadow and the others couldn't understand. The only one who understood was Lin Rei. At this moment, the first one who rushed to Lin Rei's side was Shadow. When Shadow arrived, 15 quickly bowed and greeted, a young lady. Hearing this, the 3 ghost kings also bowed respectfully to Shadow. A young lady. However, Shadow acted as though she didn't hear them. She ignored the greetings of 15 and the others. She quickly squatted down and looked at Lin Rei. Brother Lei, what's wrong with you? Wake up. Don't making worry. Brother Lei, wake up. The scene was very lively. Everyone was discussing the people who had broken out of the formation. Shadow was the only one who was crying when she saw that Lin Rei didn't have any reaction. As for Xia Feng, she was speechless when she saw Shadow. She then retreated to one side. She didn't interfere with what was happening. Brother Lei. What's wrong with Brother Lei? At this moment, the young man had also come to Lin Rei's side. When he saw Lin Rei's current state, the young man asked 15 calmly. Sai, the young master originally went to save the first madam and young master Jean En, but in the end, for some reason, he didn't manage to save them. Thus, the young master was once again heartbroken over his loss. In the end, we didn't expect that the young master would turn into a demon and start wantonly slaughtering the creatures around the Ghost Realm's sacred mountain. He killed almost 1 million demonic beasts and ghost soldiers. In the end, the young master even said that he would bury the entire Ghost Realm with him. Hiss, none of the people present were weak. After hearing 15's explanation of what happened, they were all shocked. They didn't expect the person in front of them to be so fierce and powerful. When the clan leader of the ancient tribe heard 15 say that he couldn't save Jean Ling and Jean En, tears flowed down from his eyes. His eyes were filled with sorrow. Then can we, Xia Feng, who was standing at the side, knew what Shadow was going to say. She immediately said, yes, I hope you can persuade him. Can I really? What if, yes? Besides, isn't this the solution you proposed? Besides, it's not a good idea to keep suppressing him like this. Instead of this, it's better to give it a try. If it doesn't work, we can just suppress him again. Hearing this, 15, who was still a little worried, finally nodded and agreed. Okay, but you have to keep an eye on him. What if young master, I know. You're a grown man. Why are you being so wishy-washy? Can you still do it? Hearing Xia Feng's words, 15 was at a loss for words. However, at this moment, Xia Feng flapped her wings. Lin Rei, who was about to quietly lie on the ground, suddenly stood up. The evil phoenix, which had been preparing to suppress Linli once more, was just about to attack upon seeing Linli's actions. But then, a shocking scene occurred. Linli, who had stood up, took 2 steps at a time and came before the clan leader. With a plop, he knelt down and kowtowed, I'm sorry. I didn't do it. Chapter 606. This was a scene that no one had expected. Even the leader himself did not expect Lin Rei to act in such a manner. At this moment, the leader looked at Lin Rei with grief in his heart. He was already sobbing his eyes out. The leader of the ancient tribe could no longer care about anything else in front of everyone. Now that his loved one was dead, how could he continue to be the supreme leader of the ancient tribe? Grandfather, I was wrong. I shouldn't have left Ling alone in the sect. I shouldn't have given you hope. All of this was caused by me. Grandfather, please punish me. Even if you kill me, I won't have any complaints. That way, I can go accompany Ling, and the others. Kneeling on the ground, Linli's heart was very clear. He had already prepared himself to die. Husband, at this moment, a woman's trembling voice came from behind. Lin Rei was blind, but he was not deaf. The moment he heard this voice, Lin Rei's body trembled. His face was filled with guilt. Back then, half of the reason why he married Ying was because of the system mission. Now that he thought about it, he felt extremely guilty towards her. Husband, if you die, what should I do? How am I going to be alone? At this moment, Shadow had already arrived behind Linli. Tears streamed down her face like a waterfall. Heiss. If I die, you can wait for the arrival of the Xuanzong sect. Then, you can lead the Xuanzong sect to stabilize the God world. No. I don't want the Xuanzong sect. The leader of the ancient tribe, heard the conversation between Lin Rei and Ying. Looking at the two of them, he felt extremely helpless. Did he hate Lin Rei? Indeed, he did. However, when he thought about how his granddaughter had married Lin Fan, her fate was already sealed. As the saying went, Tendo is good at reincarnation. No one has their own fate. As the leader of the ancient tribe, he understood this very well. Little Lei, get up first. Ling Er's death is not entirely your fault. At this moment, the clan leader of the ancient race hurriedly reached out to help Lin Rei up. His actions were gentle and doting. Grandpa, at this moment, upon hearing the words of the ancient race leader, Lin Rei was crying so hard that he could no longer make a single sound. His entire body was trembling as well. Get up. Looking at Lin Rei, the old man used his spiritual energy and pulled Lin Rei up from the ground. Everyone has their own destiny. Back then, the reason why this old man went to the profound sky continent was because I wanted to change Ling Er's fate. Obviously, I succeeded. Back then, I divined that Ling would only live to be 80 years old. However, you let Ling Er live for such a long time. Hearing this, Lin Rei cried even harder, not for anything else, but for his wife and son. Sigh. Alright, let's not talk about this anymore. However, your friend has messed with the ancient tribe quite a bit. Previously, he was doting on Lin Fan, but in the next moment, he started to calculate. Lin Rei knew that the old man did this because he did not want to linger on the matter of Jean Ling. Lin Rei was even more aware of the pain in the old man's heart at this moment. However, in order to not let the old man feel heartache, Lin Rei immediately went along with it and said, "Alright, Grandpa. The spell formation is broken. It's just as well that you all migrate. Anyway, there are no treasures here." Hearing this, the old man's expression changed and he said in a deep voice, "What are you talking about? Our ancient tribe has been here for a long time. Furthermore, our mission is to guard the passage to the ghost realm. So, there's no need to say such things in the future." Hearing these words, Lin Rei was stunned. He did not expect the old man to be so stubborn. Sigh. "Grandpa, it's true. Actually, you don't have to guard here all the time. I've already walked through the Yellow Spring. There are dangers everywhere. It's impossible for people from the ghost realm to come here through the Yellow Spring. Moreover, there's a very powerful existence at the end of the Yellow Spring. That mysterious person's strength is not inferior to a sage." What, a sage? Hearing this, whether it was the old man or the people present, they were all shocked. Of course, the three ghost kings were the most shocked. Previously, when they heard 15 say that Lin Rei went to the ghost realm from the Yellow Spring, they did not believe it. Now, they completely believed it. Hee, interesting. At this moment, Xia Feng heard Lin Rei's words. Then, she walked over from the side and said to him, "Kid, you have a lot of secrets. That mysterious person's cultivation is very strong. Even I don't have the ability to do so." Hearing this, Lin Li didn't give a direct answer. "Alright, let's talk about this later. Evil Phoenix, I believe you should be able to set up a formation here, right?" You and 15 have bad morals. Don't worry, the formation has been set up. Even a godly venerable might not be able to break this formation. Even a sage would have to depend on their level. A low-level sage would not be able to do it. So, be careful." While speaking, Evil Phoenix couldn't help but glance at 15 from the corner of his eyes. He then said to Lin Li, "Hee." Hearing this, Lin Rei smiled and then said to the old man, "Grandpa, you heard it too. Besides, what's the use of you guarding this place? The spiritual energy here is so thin. Even if you don't think for yourself, you should think for your clan. Do you want the ancient clan to guard this place until they are wiped out? As he said this, Lin Rei released his divine senses and scanned all the ancient clan members around him. Although their cultivation was very strong, Lin Rei could sense that most of the strong cultivators were old. As for the younger generation, their cultivation was not high at all. Sure enough, after hearing Lin Rei's words, the ancient clan leader looked at the surrounding ancient clan members in a daze. His eyes revealed a hint of embarrassment. Husband, your eyes, and your hair. Just as everyone was silent, Shadow, who had been observing Linley this entire time, spoke up with a puzzled look on his face. Although his voice wasn't very loud, it was heard by everyone in the surroundings. Suddenly, everyone's eyes gathered on Lin Rei. Previously, they had been observing the surrounding strangers, the destruction of the formation, and Jean Ling's death, so no one noticed it. At this moment, everything returned to calm. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Rei. Sigh. Feeling the gazes of the surrounding people, Lin Rei chuckled and then explained to Ying, "It's okay. Because of some special reasons, my eyes were blinded. As for my hair, there's no need to make a fuss. It doesn't matter what color my hair is, as long as I'm still me." Not bad. I didn't expect you to say such things. You haven't forgotten what you did in the ghost realm before, right? At this moment, Xia Feng's voice came from behind. After hearing that, Lin Rei fell into his memories. Suddenly, horrifying scenes of slaughter appeared in his mind. Looking at the memories, Lin Rei's face was full of shock and panic. Since he remembered all these, he naturally remembered that he wanted to bury the entire ghost realm with Jean Ling. Thinking of this, Lin Rei couldn't help but shudder with fear. Then, he thanked Xia Feng with an embarrassed face, "Thank you. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid the consequences would be out of control." At least you still have a conscience. Looking at Lin Rei's appearance at this moment, she knew that Lin Rei had completely recovered. Suddenly, she felt relieved. Previously, she was still afraid whether Lin Rei had really recovered. Now, she finally didn't have to worry. Husband, at this moment, Ying, who was standing at the side, overheard their conversation and heard Linley tell her the reason for his blindness. She immediately stepped forward and hugged his arm, unwilling to let go. Feeling Ying's intention, Lin Rei smiled and touched her hair. Then, he didn't stop her. After the incident with Jean Ling, he knew that nothing was more important than staying with his family. Of course, if he wanted to do all this, he had to have absolute strength. Otherwise, everything would be illusory. Little Lei, I understand what you said. I agree with your idea. I agree with the migration of the clan. As soon as these words came out, the faces of the surrounding ancient clan disciples were full of excited smiles. Some of them were even ready to go out and see the outside world immediately. Divine sense probed everyone's appearance. Lin Rei smiled. The reason why he did this was to help the ancient clan. However, helping the ancient clan was also helping Jean Ling. After all, Jean Ling was a member of the ancient clan. Alright then. Grandpa, we'll head back first. We'll return to the divine world in 2 days. As for the next 2 days, I'll set up a few more arrays on top of this formation so that it can be sealed forever. Well, okay, you're tired too. Go back. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the ancient clan head waved his hand. As for him, he was also busy with the things he needed to take during the migration. Just like that, the two groups separated. Lin Rei brought everyone back to Ying's place. As for the ancient clan disciples, they started to get busy. The dozens of people in the room were standing there, while Linley sat down on his seat. Using his divine sense to inspect everyone's cultivation levels, a hint of a smile appeared on Linley's face. Naturally, he didn't need to check Ying and the others' cultivation. After all, they were all summoned by him. Their cultivation was directly linked to his. As long as his cultivation increased, their cultivation would definitely increase as well. As for the rest, they weren't directly connected to Linley, nor had they been summoned by him. For example, Linley's younger brother, Lin Tian, and his other disciples. Based on their cultivation bases, Linley could tell that Linley's cultivation bases were quite high. A smile appeared on Linley's face. Hee hee, Nandi, you're good. We haven't seen each other in such a short time. Your cultivation has already reached the peak of the late stage of the divine ancestor realm. Hee hee, it's okay, it's okay. Hearing Linley mention him, the young man's face was instantly filled with smiles as he spoke modestly. You're tuning in to the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.